Oh yeah, do you want to go?
Just like my porn habits.
Am
I right?
Have we skipped forward on this video, Smud?
Yes, we did skip forward because it's a skit and it's dumb and I don't care.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
God.
no. I was actually going to say,
Okay.
I started watching it and the skit was fucking ridiculous. And I was actually going to ask you, do we have to sit through this?
Yeah, no.
Some real nostalgia critic energy there.
It was the same level of comedy of Nostalgia Critic just shot with better cameras. So,
All right.
we're not watching
And more
that.
soy.
So anyway, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 202, and this is Michael Bay, Understanding a True American Auteur, Part 1. There is a Part 2, believe it or not. And it's by the Patrick Willems, or the Patrick H.
The
Willems.
Patrick Willems.
Yeah.
The only one with Willems.
The Willem Pat.
Not Wilhams, not Williams, not Willems.
And
Willems.
not to be mistaken for Adolf Willems.
Not
Okay.
Patty O'Malley, Patrick Willems.
Radio.
H.
And this is a 25.5-minute video. This will take us some time if we even choose to get that far with it. It's not a bad video. It's kind of fun to watch. He does a good job clipping and explaining things, at least from what I saw so far, which was at least half. So it's not bad. He doesn't really say anything, though. He's just sort of saying, this is Michael Bay, and this is what he does, and this is his thing, and this is what he did here, and this is what he went to school for. And it's like, this is all basic knowledge. It's good to learn, good to understand where Michael Bay comes from, because Michael Bay is universally disliked for having a certain style, making certain kinds of films. That is not.
And then in the industry, he's known for being a dickhead.
Oh, that too.
That's why people, it's like a real piece of shit, kind of hurry up and do what I tell you, or I'm going to yell at you kind of guy. And I understand, by the way, how people deal with fucking, this is it's difficult to work 12 to 16 hour days on something. Nobody wants to do that. And it's one of the only ways that a lot of things get made. But that doesn't mean that you should skip steps, like safety steps, or not take something seriously, which could cause somebody to get injured. And that's the kind of thing that Michael Bay has made mistakes about in the past. So it's very important to realize that's his reputation, but he makes so much money for people that, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Right. So
You can always buy off the lawyers with the money you make.
You can pay them. I mean, you got to pay them, but you can't, But one of the things that happened, like that I bring up, and maybe I'll stop bringing up after so many times, but on Transformers 2, there was a well-respected stunt woman that got severely injured, permanently affected by a cable that snapped because they did not add another cable, according to the specification that they should have for the thing. So a cable snapped and flew all the way across into a car. Like, imagine a cable smacking the glass of the car that you're driving, right? So there's like a fucking cable-sized hole, like a line in your car. And then that caused permanent damage, and that is something that Hollywood swept under the rug because they don't want to bring something like that up. I mean, luckily, nobody died, but somebody lost a lot. And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't like. And then from a personal perspective, from my family's perspective, Michael Bay, I think, is the only set that my father walked off of and quit from ever in his career. So that's enough for me to be like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I don't remember what picture that was, but there's only a few real dicks in Hollywood. And one of the sad things is that some of their movies do really well. And then they stay powerful, while a lot of other people struggle that aren't playing the same game as them. And it's a little bit difficult. But Michael Bay is one of those guys. So keep that in mind.
So, long story short, Hollywood bad?
Hollywood they paid for some of my medical bills. You know what I mean?
There you go.
They're not all bad for me. And then I met some really nice people, and it grates me when they tarnish everybody with the same brush. But the problem is that, to me, what has happened to Hollywood has happened to almost every industry. So we can go against Hollywood because it's very visible, and because it's such a zany, wacky place with such chaos and such a range of standards about how things are supposed to be done. And that's part of the reason why I'm here, to kind of help define that. But I don't like that the good people are forever tarnished with the bad that Hollywood does, and I don't like that the good people aren't good enough to stop all the bad stuff. But I don't blame that, because that happens in government, that happens in industry, food industry, sanitation, nuclear, whatever. Everybody likes to cut corners at a certain point, and everybody suffers for it. So, long story short, Michael Bay, avoid if you're a professional and you don't want to get your fucking ass chewed off all the time, and you don't want to risk your life with somebody who is fucking trying to rush. That's the real takeaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what are some what's like one short good story that you have about Hollywood? You piqued my curiosity.
What do you want to hear?
I don't know, just something good, something nice.
Like something positive that happened?
Yeah. You said there's a lot of good, so
I went to visit. So I have two of them. Like one of the things that I wanted to say about I'm working on my critique. I had to go. I reread Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. I read all the comic books that they've made after the fact. I watched all the movies and all the shorts, and I looked at all of the the documentary footage and future noir and all this stuff. And one of the things that I wanted to say in it was that I went to a Marvel set for a TV show, and I met a showrunner. And he was a showrunner that was sort of absorbed into the Marvel process, because that's something that isn't really spoken about, is because people are so obviously aware that everybody that wants to create something in Hollywood needs help. It's a collaborative effort. They need other departments. And that means that those departments are there because they want to be creative too. Everybody in the process is going to put their creativity in the process. So you're never going to get a pure output, right? So I went down to the Marvel Studios. I was in not Marvel Studios, but the big Atlanta place where almost all of the shit is made down there.
Yeah.
Because of tax breaks in Georgia and all that stuff. So Georgia, Canada, Los Angeles, and then to a lesser extent Florida, and then New York is what I would say is how. Maybe New York before Florida, depending on, both of those are nightmare cities to shoot in, but that's how the disposition of film is right now. That's where the film locations are. So Atlanta is really big right now, and they compete directly with Canada, and they compete directly with Los Angeles, but they don't have all the resources. However, if you're in Georgia and you're a medium level professional in Los Angeles, now you're a medium high level professional in Georgia, right? And another thing is that you got to go down to Georgia and shoot and live there if you are one of the crew or whatever. So you have all these people living all over this city of Atlanta, and it's a different city, and you're working on a Marvel project, and you might not want to be working on a Marvel project. Maybe you want to tell a story about whatever you want to tell about, but you can't because you got to be in charge of this thing. So I walked up to the showrunner of this show, and my goal there was to talk to everybody, because I was shadowing one of the people I was shadowing a personnel member, right? Like I was there to learn their craft. How do they do what they do? That's what they call it, is shadowing. And so a lot of people that are like kids that are growing up that are industry kids that have any connections, they'll ask if they can, if the person that is being requested to be shadowed by like a 16-year-old or 17-year-old kid, then if that person has any kind of respect in the crew, then they'll get that allowed, and you can basically just hang out on a set and watch. And that's the best education you could possibly get, because you're on a set, you have no responsibilities to anybody but the person that you made the agreement to, and all you have to do is learn what they do and hang out, and that gives you certain privileges if it's worked out that way. You know what I mean? Whatever the privileges of your department are, that's kind of like the level that you're on. I would like still wait, because the way it's funny, like if you go in, when you go to eat your food, there's an order that people go in. The highest seniority people can go first, like actors go first. The talent, by the way, everybody's called the talent, even if they're not talented. It must be some kind of like soft propaganda. So the talent's coming in, we gotta bring over the golf cart. So like they eat first and the director eats first, because they're on a different schedule. Everything is in support of them being able to get their crazy ideas out into reality. So the more stable people then go after that, and then at the end of it, then you have the PAs who have no union to represent them. So they're like the little man on campus. They have no turnaround time. So the more powerful that you are in the business and the more important that your department is, the more power that you have in the business. And that's why the writers are constantly going on strike, because they have enormous importance but not a lot of power. So they're constantly trying to flex that power. The producers, they don't have group power, they have individual power, because they're all the egotists that are fighting each other for the content, because they're not really that creative people. If they were, why are they being a producer? Why not just go and be a director? Or go do whatever. Or be a creator.
Sorry to interrupt, but can't writers unionize? Or
they are in a union. That's why they use the union to strike, because their union doesn't have as much power as the DGA. The DGA is the big badass union. The Screen Actors Guild and the DGA. Those are the big guys. And then the Producers Guild, they realize they're like, okay, we got to gang up, you know what I mean? Because we're we got to have that power too. So everybody has a union, and every union has power. If you fuck with transportation, you can't go anywhere. If you fuck with electrical, you can't plug. Props aren't going to be able to plug a light into the wall. There's a whole system of how this thing works, and the public has no awareness or understanding of how the business actually works at all, because it's all presented with the absolute gloss. So the point that I was trying to get to
right now, because I'm like it's like I'm seeing behind the curtain. So I'm loving
the point I was trying to get to just to get all the way to the point is that when I talk to the person that was the showrunner, that doesn't mean that person has unlimited power, because they have to talk to somebody that deals with Marvel who has enormous power, because whatever she is going to be what the people that aren't connected are going to think about the project outside of what the actual thing is. So she could lie her ass off if she wanted to. And I'm giving away a lot by saying her, but I hate this chick. She was racist. So anyway, we have the showrunners in charge of the show, which means that they're in charge of they're like head producer, right? And they're also the head of the writer's room. In both of these ways, they have the ultimate creative, this is what we're going to do thing. And then there's the guy that stands next to him or over him that goes, this is how much money I have to do that. Right? And you and I have to agree that this is how much money this is going to be, this is how much money this is going to be, and we go and do that. This is where we're going to park the crew. This is where we're putting down the toilets. You know what I mean? This is how much electrical, generators we need. That's the production manager guy. He's, these people have to do that as part of the production department.
Logistics and such.
So what happens is I talked to this creator, and I've talked to all these other people, and I wanted to get the showrunner's idea about it. And he says, he chastises me for me saying I want to create intellectual properties, right? Because I don't have a hat. I have my hat. I'll put on whatever hat is necessary. I've been in the business long enough. I could do your craft service. I could do fucking electrical lighting as a junior guy. You know what I mean? I could do these jobs. If you needed a DP in a pinch, I could do your job for you. But I'm not the best at any of those. I'm not even good at any of those. I want to be a director. I want to be a writer. I want to produce. I want to do that, whatever. I just want to see things get made. You know what I mean? And in that world that we live in is all about intellectual property. So he gets really upset, and he's not upset with me. He's upset with the concept, and I'll give him credit for that, because this dude had one of those things where he seemed to be incensed by points that you made that he didn't like, where he'd look up and blink like, oh my god, this guy, you know what I mean? And then but he also had the force to be able to be a showrunner in Hollywood, which is kind of talk down to people in a way. So it's like he's like, don't say that. When you say intellectual property, you sound like the enemy. Okay? We write stories. Okay? You want to be a writer? Write a story. And I was like, one part of me went, you don't appreciate the bigger picture. And then another part of me, the part of me that stayed silent and went and asked him a question instead of, being that asshole that I am, where I want to snap back. I wanted to know, like, why did you say that? It's because it's like the people that are dealing with intellectual properties in his life don't respect stories. He is there to create stories that he knows is the core of interest for people. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that you have people that are above him that only see the brand name. And so when I step up to him, he's frustrated that I'm saying, hey, check out this brand name that I want to make, instead of saying, I want to tell a story, because he asked me what I was interested in. And so it was frustrating because I understand the value of somebody stepping in and going, I want to make an intellectual property. I want to make a story that's more. I want to do what George Lucas did. I want to do what Gene Roddenberry did. And that really doesn't work with regular people that are doing the writer's thing. So that was one of the weird experiences that I had on there. And on the flip side, there was another guy that was there that was representing a different company, but he was contracted. That company was contracted by Marvel to make sure that they didn't fuck up the canon. So his job there, and he had a little tiny bit of creative input, but not that much power, but he could flex it in specific areas, his task was, I'd look at the story. Can we do the story? Yes. Then, is this production feasible budget-wise? Okay. And then thirdly, does this meet the canon? So they prioritized their story and their budget over the canon because they had to, because they were shooting in Georgia and they didn't have enough money to do this or that, whatever. That was an interesting revelation, because that's the reason why your movies or your television shows are not meeting the comic book standard, aside from the fact that there's only so many, on paper, comic book readers in the country and comic book fans. So if you're a comic book fan, but you're not part of the pool of people buying Marvel, the people that are in the entertainment division must be looking at those numbers and disrespecting those numbers compared to the TV and movie numbers. They know that there's a TV audience, so they structure a Marvel show because they know the Marvel brand is popular and that's what they have to offer, as something else. This is a Marvel show about these characters, but it's not for the nerd fans, which there are only 200,000 of. This show is actually for teen drama and family drama, right? Or this is about a bunch of runaways, or this is for the 18 to 35 male audience that wants to see shooting, or this is for people that want to see law, intrigue, and drama, or whatever. This is for women. Like, that's how they look at it. So it's still comic to TV, big central television thinking, and then they don't have the budget to cover what the actual action is in the comic. So there's a loss of translation, and then finally, on top of that, there are people that are not aware of the pedigree of the thing that is really interesting, like the Marvel brand or whatever. They don't know the history of it because they don't give a shit about comic books, and they're in charge of shit. And they are directly in creative opposition to people that are aware of it and are on set and are there to be the nerd on set. But the nerd on set is not the biggest dick in the house, and that's the problem. The biggest dick in the house is actually swung by a woman that doesn't give a shit about comic books and just cares about the money. That's your enemy. That's the real enemy that the guy's complaining about on set. And that's the reason why he's stuck doing a Marvel TV show instead of doing something creative that he wants to do. And that's your story. That's how you get the culmination. That's how the Marvel universe gets translated into television mostly. That's the creative problem with working within the entertainment business that's limited by budget in a location you might not want to, like in Georgia, when you live in Los Angeles, so you're constantly away from your house. You're working on a show that has to be done by a brand name, an intellectual property, when you want to tell stories, which is why you're really into it in the first place. And if you're a nerd, you're stuck trying to make something as close to the source as possible without having the budget or the power to do it. That's the Marvel TV conundrum.
Message coming in.
Is that good enough?
Patching it through.
Yeah.
But when is Michael Bay gonna make a Marvel movie? That's why I care about. Glib, please tell me.
No, I really do appreciate talking about all that. It was a nice look behind the curtain a bit.
That's what you get. You get a story. If you ask me, I'm gonna have to tell all of it. I
All
don't
right.
have any short things, because when I went there explicitly as a kid to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to some pertinent super chats here. This is Jake the Surgeons. If you drink your pee, does it burn coming out because it's double pee? No, that's a problem specific to your.
Jake.
Thank you, Jake. By the way, for that question. No, that would be a problem with your urinary tract. Uric acid is still uric acid. It's a weak acid. Your body will go, oh, look, urine again. That's not very helpful. Your liver will go, oh, we got to neutralize this now. Then we got to process that. It's 99% pure, so it's not going to do much for you. Probably shouldn't be consuming urine in the first place.
It's also dehydrating.
You need to like distill it with everything. Supposedly, urine that gets properly distilled tastes like Dutch lager. So
there you go. Yeah, so don't try it unless you're starving and thirsty as hell, but not a good idea. Anyway, again, Jake the Surgeon. Steven Seagal is the plane that hit North Tower. Oh God.
He used the fuck out of me.
Yeah, let's
I
not go.
was actually going to say after his question about drinking pee, is it double pee or urine? Oh God, what can Jake actually say next?
I want a character. Yeah. I want a character where it's like his icon, where he looks like a Power Ranger, right? And he shows up during an action scene, and instead of helping anybody, he just goes there and says a one line and poses, and then runs away like a super chat. You know what I mean? So he's like, everybody's fighting to the death or something. And he's like, he comes in and he just strikes one of those Power Ranger poses. If you drink a pee, does it burn coming out because it's double pee? And then everybody just looks at each other, and then he swings off like Spider-Man. That's what I want to see. I'm gonna have a character called Jake the Surgeon. He's gonna be a fruit salad man or something.
It's better to come in the sink than to sink in the cum. And he just leaves.
Exactly. And so his distraction of being ridiculous long enough allows the police or the superheroes or whatever to win. That's all he does.
Not the superheroes, the police to come in and just do their fucking job.
Thanks, fruit salad man, or Jake the Surgeon or whatever,
Fruit salad man.
The bank robbers were stopped because the weirdo distracted them.
Well,
as they're being carted off again, like we're arguing about whether it is actually true if you can drink your own urine. Completely forgetting about what they were there for.
Weak acids can be consumed. It's not a suggested idea. Don't do it, folks. Okay.
I'm going to do it.
We've got 23 and a half minutes to go through. Let's get started. It's a long video.
Bay, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Michael Bay.
These are all ridiculously hyperbolic, but the point is, Michael Bay might be the most hated filmmaker working today. And don't tell me it's ooey ball, because no one actually watches that guy's movies. Bay is the go-to director people...
See, it's comments like
Uwe
that.
Uwe Boll is a national treasure.
Yeah, like
whatever foreign land he lives in.
Yeah, like these are the kind of comments that Patrick says. He just acknowledges something and just says, no, this is completely... Don't even think about it. It's like, oh, okay.
House of the Dead is the most faithful adaptation of a video game I've ever seen, and no one can ever change my mind on it.
In my opinion. What the fuck was that? This might be hyperbolic, and then just makes that definitive statement.
I don't understand.
Yes. This is hyperbolic. By the way, Uwe Boll sucks.
I'm very intrigued by the title of this, because I don't understand why you would want to associate Michael Bay with auteur theory. Like, what is it that he's,
Message coming in.
When Ridley, like Ridley Scott is auteur, right? Or...
He invented Transformers.
Message coming in.
Is it just because Michael Bay is like explosions, trucks, America?
Michael Bay invented Transformers and explosions.
He definitely invented those things.
Yeah, he was there back in China in 49 AD when they invented gunpowder, and he said, I'm going to turn this into the littest shit you've ever seen in your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one time I'm going to allow you to say lit, because it makes sense.
What happens if I say it again?
I'm gonna light you up.
Oh dear. Jake the Surgeon. Oh boy, Jake, you're on a roll here. Bible Black is something you don't jack off to. It's something you survive. What
about Perfect Blue?
I'm not sure if that implies you're jacking off so much that you need to survive from all that release of fluid, or
you need to stop masturbating. Okay, stop watching porn. Stop.
Oh my god!
My brain was
he's asking about pissing so much.
Yeah, I know. There's lots of discharge questions there. Not sure what's going on.
I can't talk right now. I'm making piss.
Oh, thanks. That's good to know. All right, and Joe Crazy. Oh, you got Jake and Joe always coming by. Thanks, Joe.
JJ.
Steven Seagal, Neil Breen, and Danny DeVito are the new Power Rangers team. Let's make it a thing.
Oh my god.
I'm not.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no.
No.
Twisted Pair
I
is
can't
already
really
a thing,
argue
so
against
why?
that.
No.
Yeah.
Would be redundant.
It can work. I wouldn't want to see it work.
I'm highly disturbed.
You're obviously just not, looking for the world through Joe Crazy's eyes.
Through
like, are you-
tinted.
Are you okay, Joe? I thought Jake was disturbed, but that's just frightening.
They're both disturbed. And we love them.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's. Why is Nick
20 minutes
Cage
left,
on the
guys,
screen?
come on.
How did Nick Cage? What the? Should be paying more attention.
But he was in a Michael Bay movie, wasn't he?
I'm wildly
Wait,
uncomfortable right now. Thank you.
All right, Nick Cage,
Okay.
Michael Bay.
Reference about bad mainstream
Message
movies.
coming in.
He is critically
Patch
reviled. There's an entire song in Team America
Okay.
about how much he sucks. But consider this. There are plenty of mainstream directors who make hit movies that get
Message
bad
coming in.
reviews. But no average
Patch it through.
moviegoer can tell you who Simon West, John Moore, Walt Becker, or Jonathan Liebsman are. We all complain about Brett Ratner,
Liebsman.
but can you tell me what a Brett Ratner movie looks or feels like? No. But everyone knows Michael Bay. We all know who he is, and we can all recognize one of his movies the second we see them. And that's because he's not just another well-paid hack.
I don't even remember
Love him
Brett
or
Ratner
more
movies.
likely hate him, Michael Bay is an artist.
He's
We
an
should
artist
take him
because he.
seriously.
Yeah, we should take him seriously because he copied fucking.
Patch it through.
What is it? West Side Story.
Fun fact, Michael Bay went to Wesleyan and was classmates with Joss Whedon.
Fun fact: you're all fucking trust fund college bitches, and I hate you.
I don't really have a point there. I just think it's fun to imagine them working on student films together.
Wow,
Anyway,
so
Bay's
relevant.
senior thesis film
Wow.
at Wesleyan was called Benjamin's Birthday. It's about a frat boy who gets a
Huntington
yellow Porsche
Mathers.
for his birthday and drives it very fast. 9 years later, Bay's first feature film would open with a Porsche driving very fast. A lot of
Wow.
directors take
so
Bay was distinctly Bay from the very beginning. Bay joined the team of Propaganda Films,
I
the
have
most
never
independent
heard
production
anything
company
so
for
shit in my
music
life.
videos in the 80s
To
and
be
90s.
fair, Propaganda Films
Represented
was
such
pretty dope.
directors as David Fincher, Mark Romanek,
Oh,
Spike
that's
Jonze.
fine. But
Propaganda Films became anonymous content, and that was Steve Golan's company, and he passed away recently. Rest in peace. But he is the one that approved a lot of interesting content, and Mr. Robot is one of the things that he approved of. So, he's saying David Lynch and stuff. He's talking about he produced one David Lynch movie. And he produced one. I think Steve wanted to produce a movie for every director that he found creative. So he had a string of really good movies. And yeah. You're gonna
my
say
thing was, it was just the fact that a Porsche was driven at the start of a movie. I was like, oh well, that's pretty shit. If that's it, okay, cool.
yeah.
Why was
That's
that even involved in this?
Because he noticed. He went back and he watched Michael Bay. So Patrick wanted you to know that he paid attention. Okay. Look, there's a Porsche and then there's a Porsche.
Yeah, pay attention like Patrick paid attention.
Just like how in George Lucas's seminal classic American Graffiti, Harrison Ford drives a yellow car. Then in Attack of the Clones, seminal classic Attack of the Clones, Hayden Christensen flies a yellow car. You know what I mean? Like, it's so artistic. That's American auteur theory right there. George Lucas on American
It's
classic.
like pottery.
Seminal.
It's pottery. It rhymes.
It's so fucking good, and you don't even understand the level of art that's happening here. You have to go to Wesleyan to understand.
Wesleyton.
You have to go to Huntington University in the New Hamptons.
Worcestershire Field. Hampton.
welcome
Huntington Botherington High School University.
You can't
Is that
even
in
afford to apply here.
Chesterfieldshire?
You fucking.
Is that next to the Bosnian orphanage?
I went to Oberlin's cinema studies
Yes.
class. I know all about film. I'm Patrick
The
Willems.
Bosnian orphanage in Ghana. Yes, that is correct.
I studied at the public library by reading books. I am genius. Okay.
Yeah.
I licked. I put my mouth on every water fountain I ever drank out of. I know all about.
Hey, listen,
film.
I thought you were going to go a different direction.
I licked every rim in that school to get to the top of my class.
I studied homosexuality at every gay bar in the village. Okay, I know all about film.
I put my nutsack on every doorknob in Hollywood.
I'm making
every single one.
I'm the only person I've ever met who knows how to properly cook scallops. I am a cinema vixen. Okay, I know everything.
Cinema vixen. Vixen.
Here, here is Jake the Surgeon. I don't see how anyone would jack off to Bible Black. It's like watching Great Cthulhu rise from the ocean, spreading madness across the world. You know, Jake, whatever gets you off, man, that's great. I'm happy for you. It's really nice to know.
Hey,
I
lockdown's
love
tough
it.
for all of us.
How dare you blaspheme against Cthulhu by misspelling his name? Just gonna put that out there.
He knows where the T's and the H's are. He just doesn't know what order to press them in. That's fine.
It's
Or maybe the character limit.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, of course.
no. He added a letter. He added a letter that didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Here's Roan Hirushin. Good day, lads. What are we talking about? Yeah, it's Patrick Willem. Don't worry.
Patrick Wilhelm scream.
Tyler Preston. Try reading Metamorphosis for a real challenge. A challenge for what? What's wrong with Metamorphosis? It's not that difficult to read.
People who can't read.
Really?
It's really, yeah. Hey, you want to read? You fucking illiterate loser. Try War and Peace.
That would
Oh, you
take
think
time.
you can read? Read Finnegan's Wake. Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait a second. No, that's
You like books? Name every book.
Oh, you just read Harry Potter, little boy? Try reading Ulysses.
Oh, why's it always come fucking Harry Potter?
Harry Potter.
I can't escape that cunt.
Well, because you're in England, right? So, like, you are in Harry Potter. Yeah, hell yeah. Play that again. I'll sing.
1980s, 90s, black and white technique. Ladies, has been on the screen a little bit too long, as much as I appreciate it.
Show a nip.
That's true.
Show a nip.
Keep going.
Let me see a nip.
And Michelle. And if you look at Bay's commercials and music videos from before his first film, they are unmistakably Michael Bay. Probably
So what?
the most significant of Bay's
What
non-movie
is
work are his
unmistakably
music
Michael
videos
Bay?
for Meatloaf.
Oh, yeah. He used, let's see, he uses blue and orange. Orange, one
Message
color in
coming
the
in.
front, blue in the back with
Patch it
a
through.
white light that is like a xenon light that's just pointed towards the camera, so it creates a white effect in the background. He uses a crane to show scale. Is that what you're saying? I don't understand what's so Michael Bay about that. That's like every television studio that wants to start the shot up high and go low. What the fuck are you talking about?
From the early, particularly objects in the rearview mirror.
Oh, God.
Oh my god, dude, he's using a telephoto lens at a distance to compress the image together. Whoa, dude! That's so Michael Bay. That's, by the way, that is the only reason why you think it's Michael Bay. Because it's got a telephoto lens. He's the only guy that uses that because he wants motion in the parallax in the background. When you have a long lens and you move it, it looks like things are moving really fast. And it compresses the distance from the oh fuck, I'm forgetting the name, but the far to the near become like glued together, basically.
Yeah. I will laugh. The house party I hosted last week, someone played this song on the TV with this video. Literally everyone else just turned and stared at him until he switched my TV off. So it's really weird that this song's now coming up on the Smudcast a week later. That's kind of creepy for me.
That's crazy.
My life.
That's where we put our hands up.
Did you invite Patrick to your house party?
Did I invite God? No. I have standards.
Well,
Do
I
you?
could always reach out to him on Twitter.
Oh, no, you can't.
Oh
No,
no!
don't.
You can't even
Don't
try.
do it.
It's like my guest list. I'm like, Patrick now. Oh, Osama, yeah, you can come in. Adolf, good to see you, buddy.
I would say, hey Patrick, I'll give you, like, if I was a
$1.
producer. No. How much money do you need to produce one of your scripts? I want you to go produce it, and in exchange, you never make a YouTube video again.
$10.
I thought you were gonna say like, Patrick, how much do I need to pay you to shut the fuck up?
Message coming in.
That's basically what I'm doing. But I'm saying, I want you to.
Version.
I
shutting
want
the fuck up with extra steps.
Well, it's like, okay, you know how Nostalgia Critic, they make, like, the Channel Awesome people, they make movies. Have you ever seen
No.
any of the behind the scenes footage for that, or like any of the commentary tracks?
Yes, I have actually seen. Yeah,
I've actually never seen anything by Channel Awesome other than covering it here on the Smudcast.
Well, the point I'm trying to get at is that's funny when a critic makes a movie and like and they do a poor job of it, and then like however good they are at actually making something happen or how much they know is going to show up in their movie. So like the AVGN movie, like he could make a better movie in the future. You know what I mean? Like that was a good place to start. And then, but if they had a real crew. And they actually had somebody else there that was... They could eventually make a good movie. You know what I mean?
I love the fact that it cut out.
Yeah,
I only heard like
stop
just
talking
parts,
about
just
like
parts of that sentence, and it was.
Oh,
yeah.
It was. Some,
I
important
still
parts
followed
of the
everything.
sentence.
Yeah.
Oh,
Every detail is lost.
It'd be
I don't
amazing
know.
if they
Did I cut out?
even had banana with a spade
When did
and
I
shovel
cut out?
and whack it over.
Shut the fuck up, Hawk!
When you
Jesus
start
Christ.
talking about the AVGN.
Oh. Really? Oh, that's fucked up. Okay, well, the point is that different content creators will be able to contribute to a movie in different ways, and like it's proof that of what they're talking about. They either can recognize how to make something or they can't. You know what I mean? If you are a critic and you make something poor, it calls into question, to me, your ability to criticize something. Because it means that you can notice something and then not think about it when you're making it. That's kind of odd to me. Yeah. You know, I understand it takes time to adjust to a process, especially when you haven't done it before. And that's why I'm okay with people getting multiple opportunities. You know, you can fuck up the first time. Everybody makes a bad movie at some point. Everybody. You know, David Lynch has Dune. That's his flop, you know. At least, you know, other people have whatever art things that they want to agree or disagree, and Nicholas Winding Refn has Fear X, you know what I mean? Yeah. But Nostalgia
Doug
Critic,
Walker's got 3 of them now.
Doug Walker's got a string of them, and it's like, why don't you slow down then? Why don't you adjust? And like, no, it's like his ego won't adjust. You know what I mean? He physically won't be able to make the movie, and he's fucked up a lot. And same with Spoonie, right? Spoonie had that thing. I want to see Patrick make a real movie because I want to criticize it because it's so frustrating to hear the way that he talks about shit, and then he presents something that is substandard to that, and that's really annoying because he speaks with the snob of somebody who's like, just give me the shot, coach, I'll fuck it up. You know what I mean? I got 100 million, give me 100 million.
Oh, he's gone again.
Yeah, anyway,
yeah, you cut off there.
Yeah,
it's funny.
You cut off again.
I think it's Discord's automatic gain.
Yeah, I always just have mine on like the lowest setting possible, and then I adjust my microphone gain through voice mod.
All right, let's keep going here. Jake the Surgeon, is it too late to give Patrick's mom a son she could be proud of? No, adoption is always an option. Adoption can happen at any age, so don't worry about that. That's fine. Roan Hirushin, it's a challenge not to succumb to depression. Never read Metamorphosis. Well, you wouldn't be depressed from reading Metamorphosis. I think, what the hell is his name? Gregory or Gregan from the main character is sort of dispassionate. He just sort of gives up about what's happening in his life. So it's not really a depressing story. It's just sort of a strange story of being disconnected from your family and what that means physically. So... yeah, you wouldn't be depressed reading it. It just makes you a bit sad, maybe, but that's about it. Joe Crazy. Oh, yeah, Metamorphosis stopped jacking it and made me question many things. There you go. See? Read Metamorphosis. It's going to make you think.
It's from Franz Kafka?
Kafka,
the novel?
The Metamorphosis, yeah.
Yeah, I read that in high school.
Yeah. Simple read.
Funny novel.
Always one of the classics you got to pick up if you want to know the actual definition of a term. So, good to read. Anyway, not even 5 minutes in. We're doing okay.
Which he made before his first feature film. This video is like the Michael Bay Rosetta Stone. Almost every visual trick or trope he would become famous for shows up in this 7-minute and 42-second clip. So we've got sunsets, kids looking at biplanes, orange, blue, shots from inside airplane hangars of people sitting.
Wait. Slow down here. Slow down here.
The colours orange and blue.
You mean the color? You mean the color of the sun? Like what's of sunsets?
Message coming in.
On the 8th day, Bay gave us orange.
I get what Patrick's trying to say, but fucking hell.
Crane shot. Blue, orange. Crane shot. Telephoto lens.
He invented biplanes. He invented kids lying on their back. Before then, kids didn't know what to do when they fell over.
He invented children.
He invented children.
Patrick, just use your cinema studies degree, please. Don't explain what
Does
it
he
is.
have a cinema studies degree?
Yeah, he went to Oberlin College and got a cinema studies degree.
What a pretentious dick.
Degrees mean nothing. I know someone's got a history degree.
No, the point of going to film school is to get a film produced, because the film production colleges give you the resources that you normally wouldn't have to produce something that the studios will take seriously. That's why we have Zack Snyder, is because he went to Art Center. You know what I mean? That's why we have the guys that made Crank, because they went to the LA Film School. Like, you need to be able to show what you can do. When you look and see how poor some of these films are, these short films that get people actual directors' jobs, you'll fucking want to blow your head off. You know what I mean? Like, what is it? The Leia's birthday one? Lightsaber fight breaks out at Leia's birthday. Give that guy a Star Wars movie.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Let me
Well, the more I hear about stuff, the more I'm like, wow, I really did waste my life. I could have been making it big if I just known this stuff earlier.
Just literally just get there first. All you have to do is just make something first, and you'll fucking blow up.
Yeah.
This also applies to Rian Johnson, I believe. I guess.
Rian Johnson made a really good film though on a low budget, and so that gave him a lot of that gave him a lot of clout. That's how you get it.
What did he make?
Brick.
I don't know that movie.
Really? That is the one redeeming thing of Rian Johnson I could think of. That.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that movie. Against my better judgment, I really enjoy that movie because it's a movie about a bunch of high schoolers talking like they're from the 40s, and that doesn't make any sense to a lot of people. But if you just buy that, it's like, I like this. I like what you're doing with this world. I like how somehow these kids are all fucking like in a noir, but they're regular high schoolers, and this completely contrasting blend of genres works, and you take it seriously. However, you can't apply that to anything else. That is a specific thing. That's real auteur. That's the real American auteur, is Rian Johnson, because he's so auteur he can't make other people's shit. So
autistic.
My favorite type, the auteur autist. Discrete autism.
Here is Ron Harushin. Oh, Smud, I meant the Dojin Entai. I'm like, sorry, don't know that one. I'm sure it's a classic as well.
Yeah, when he said Metamorphosis...
Is this just the Sin Smud weird shit stream?
Yeah. Well, that's every stream. That's fine.
Yeah.
When they said Metamorphosis, I was like, I know it's going to be some weeb shit. That's definitely not going to be real, like, art. It's going to be like, oh yeah, what are you talking about? That's not the Bible. That's the hentai called the Bible that they made in Japan. It's like, oh, what the fuck's wrong with you guys? Have you read the Constitution? Yeah, of course, the American Constitution. No, the American Constitution, the hentai, where George Washington bangs a bunch of his slaves. It's like, what? No. I live in the real world. I haven't been isekai'd to Weebland yet.
Yeah. Joe Crazy. Oh, poor innocent Smud has no idea what we were referring to. It's an hentai about some of the most unapologetically dark and depressing subjects. Really? Well,
Alright.
bravo, Japan. You're turning your genre into a mixed experience for who knows what reason, but you know, if there's anyone to do it, it's Japan.
I want to die.
Jake the Surgeon. Everyone knows
Message coming in.
Futabu
Patching it through.
is the best hentai. Why are we talking about hentai all of a sudden? How did this happen?
I don't know why. I
always
don't know why you
thinking
keep
about
on referring to the Pokemon hentai.
Futabu.
What day is it today? What's like the date?
Tuesday?
Tuesday is what alignment is like Venus? You know what I mean? Like, what's the astrological implication of everybody being into hentai right now?
Let me just open my curtains and have a look for you.
Can you search? Hey, can you search your unfunny box for more shitty jokes? Maybe. Hopefully you run out.
I'm surprised that everyone in the chat, at least people sending super chats, know all this stuff. Like, I know a little, but this is like, whoa, these are specific.
This comment in the chat, it's the Evangelion of hentai.
Really?
What?
So it's never gonna be released.
Steven Seagal. Is there? Hold on. Don't keep playing it. Is there an anime Steven Seagal?
There's an anime Arnold. I know that.
There has to be because Steven has a dojo in Japan, so there's gotta be some rabid Japanese fan who is like, "Oh, Steven, we made you into a manga."
Message coming in.
Stop playing the copyrighted music.
Yeah.
It's not copyrighted though.
That's just two sticks being banged together. That's all it is.
Hitalia
like
of the
Steven
Dead.
Seagal.
Does anybody know the anime Hitalia of the Dead?
No.
No.
Apparently, there's a Steven Seagal character in there.
Okay.
Oh, right, okay.
There you go.
So Patrick
I think there's a
Willems
rule
is
of the
autistic.
internet. I think there's a rule of the internet that there has to be an anime of everything.
Zach.
I don't like this B team shit.
Here's Revolution again. To get back on track, the Bayformers were terrible Transform movies. Thank you, Roan. Thanks for having a statement related to the topic. Although we're not.
Oh, you missed the last bit of that super chat, but I also masturbated to that as well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
But no, he is correct.
Whatever works for you, sir. I'm not here to judge. That's totally cool. If Michael Bay does it for you, man, you gotta get something off. Something's gotta work for you.
Smud, it's been a long lockdown.
Yeah.
For you.
Talking about depressed. Alright.
Wedded.
Why are you guys
Bay
doing this to
low-angle
Smud?
shot of an aircraft flying over people, objectified women, American flags, and of course, honestly, almost every.
What the fuck?
What is this?
Oh yes,
Objectified women. Wait. How is she being objectified? You can't. Not as sexy. Woman sexy does not mean objectified. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Can I just say?
Message coming in.
Before 1994, women were never objectified in music videos or in anything. Michael Bay
Nor had they ever shown an American flag.
Michael Bay invented the American flag.
I like planes.
See, in 1994, he took a shot of a biplane, and then he did it again in 2001. This means it's a Michael Bay film. Like,
Oh. What about all those other films with biplanes in it?
Oh, those war films? Yeah, those aren't Michael Bay films.
Yeah. Also, why is it only bi? What about trans and gay and lesbian planes? Hey. Oh, about equality here.
shot from this shows up in Pearl Harbor. It's weird. Even the sex scenes look the same.
No, he's.
All the sex scenes are the same in Michael Bay films.
He definitely just showed full nipple, by the way, on YouTube. We're gonna get banned.
Why would you?
Oh no.
Why would you end your point by just saying the sex scene is weird?
It's weird. Wait, did he say the sex scene is weird?
No, he said that the sex scene is the same, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, when it's weird, it's like what? As in, like, that it's the same as the thing, or is it? I don't know whether it. Like, I don't know.
We're 3 minutes in, and this is a bad video.
Yeah.
I'm glad
you're not selling me. You're not selling me that Michael Bay's actually a good director.
I'm glad that he's finding comparisons. Hey, look, this is very similar to his earlier work. You're like, that's great. That doesn't make it a Michael Bay thing. That's just a thing he did 20 years ago, or whenever.
Yeah, but
it's good to find similarities, and like they use the same shots, use the same compositions, stuff like that. That's good. That shows that you put effort in, you researched what you're talking about. To say that
coming in.
Excuse me. To say I wouldn't put it with this is 100% Michael Bay or like this is typical. Excuse me, got the hiccups. But this is typical of a Michael Bay movie where he has the biplane against the sun. Like, no, I would just say
that was in one movie that he made.
I would just say that like he likes to use this type of shot, or this isn't 100. I don't know how I would phrase this. It's just a dumb point.
Also, the idea of
I certainly would not have phrased that way. I certainly would have.
Yeah, the Meatloaf song is like based in the 1940s, which is the same time as Pearl Harbor. So Michael Bay and I could just use similar things, similar time period. Hooray.
Here is Jake the Surgeon. Fun Bag Fantasy is the best game. I don't know, but your standards are your own, sir.
Why does Patrick Willems look like a typical, very bland NPC character in a, like, I guess a great value RPG game?
I'm thinking of the actual NPC meme. Just turn his head to the side. It's like that's
Oblivion music.
Yeah, he definitely is just Oblivion. Also, why are his teeth so odd? Look at his teeth.
He's got Daisy Ridley Sith teeth, from what I'm seeing.
Sith teeth?
Sure.
Oh, you mean the evil Bilbo?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, scary Bilbo.
I've just got the urge to collect 5 bear pelts and give it to him. That's what an NPC looks like.
Yeah. The glasses don't help his look. His terrible hairline don't help either.
Oh, right. Here's Rona Rushin. The only mech I'd even think about doing that to might be Noble Gundam, but definitely to its pilot Allenby? Best G Gundam girl. I don't know. There's so many Gundams, dude.
Stop with your weeby shit. I don't know. This is confusing me.
Fine, shiny.
He should shave his head and get some circular glasses. That would be cool as fuck.
Oh no!
Mirrored lenses.
That's what Wolf said on E-Fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
He should shave his
grow a beard
down to his neck.
Definitely.
He did.
You're
Go
assuming
Patrick
that
Stewart.
he can grow a beard.
Have you seen it? Have you seen his recent videos? He has exactly
it was
that.
crazy.
Yeah.
So wait, he has a beard?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh my God,
You have
yeah.
to level up. Yeah, just give up on your 20s or whatever. Because he's only 33, right? He's fucking, 4 years older than me?
Oh, wow, look at that!
He's a crazy woodsman.
Good for him.
Well,
man.
there you go. Well, at least he has finally given more than half a fuck about his appearance.
But he's on camera, so he has to.
Well, it'd be
He doesn't
nice
have
if
to.
Yeah,
Nice if he did it more often.
He could just be.
This is what you're never going to be
Oh wow!
as
Look,
sexy as
he
PewDiePie.
looks like Letterman now that he's retired.
Oh.
Whoa! Here, look at this. Look at this shot. Wait,
I don't even know what you're looking at.
let me get. I'm getting a screenshot. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sort of gave up about 6 months ago. You started not shaving.
Look at this shot.
There you go.
He looks like a retired young Letterman.
Holy shit!
Yeah, but you know what the problem is? Is that he's doing the whole blorange thing like a fucking asshole.
A blorange?
Everything is 2 colors because that's what you do in film.
Oh, well, I mean, it's...
Oh, yeah, like Michael Bay.
Well, no, it's for fashion. It works. Yeah, maybe this is just his...
Look at how retro I am. Blue, this kind of muted blue and orange.
Yeah, maybe that's just his thing. That's
for
fine.
you, bro.
Just like a 2000s movie poster. Wow.
It's very creative.
It's fine.
Did you learn that in cinema studies in college?
Message coming in. Patching it through.
It's fine.
It's fine. Fuck you, dude. I am not gonna stand for this shit.
I will not stand for any more blue and orange.
You don't get to talk down to that audience with that basic bitch shit. That's like a woman coming in and she's got her leggings on and she's got her boots and she's gonna fucking talk down to you and you're like, you don't even go outside, you don't even climb mountains, do you? And she's talking to a fucking mountain climber. You know what I mean? I like going out. I'm gonna bring my Nalgene and my friends love going camping all the time. It's so great. And like, yeah, I fucking climbed K2 and shit. Like this is like, oh my god, it's cool. Fuck you.
You could have ended that at that's like a woman. You could just ended it there.
Fucking sexist.
Yes.
You just hate women.
Mm-hmm.
You're a terrible Murray.
Here's Roan Harushan. That mess aside, this is the plot hole guy. He made more videos. Neat. Yeah, I know he never stopped. After the magnum opus that was his plot holes don't matter video.
Yeah,
he
what's
kept
the
going.
problem? Since then, anything that he's
it didn't
made
make sense to me.
It can be held under such scrutiny that I don't know. Everybody who's made since then has just been shit.
I just
no
want
way he can
him
ever be good at it ever again.
I just want Patrick Willems to just be consistent with the standards and just accept that objective versus subjective don't have to be enemies. Objectivity and subjectivity are not enemies.
I don't want to accept that it's okay to like bad movies.
It's okay to like bad movies. It's not okay to go on Twitter like a retard and say The Last Jedi is good and you're just racist.
You're just
racist. Get fucked.
The Last Jedi is good because it's just like pop noir. Like The Dark Knight, Blade Runner, and The Thing.
He has an astounding
Because they're all
eye
the
for
same
composition, light, and space. His Wesleyan film professor, Janine Basinger, said, quote, "Over the years, I've seen a great deal of material from freshmen, but I have yet to see anything like Bay's high school photos. They were astonishing, revealing an amazing eye for composition, an instinct for capturing movement, and an inherent understanding of implied narrative." Bay's fondness for West Side Story has been widely discussed, as well as his admiration for Steven Spielberg, but beyond some compositional elements, there isn't much of either present in his work. In fact, Bay's storytelling style is entirely at odds with Spielberg's. Instead of extended shots...
Wait, why are we comparing Spielberg to Bay? Wait, what?
Because he's the best, dude. He's the #1 top king of New York.
Where did Spielberg come in?
Well, I was led to believe that J.J. Abrams is the new Spielberg.
You need to make connecting threads, Patrick.
Honestly, I'm just happy we get to see an actual good movie in this video.
It's Jeff Goldblum and his
But
open
actually,
shirt.
Steven Spielberg is completely at odds with Lenny Riefenstahl.
I don't know who that is. What is I just don't know where we are anymore.
I am going to open another beer.
Get a load of these guys.
With clear cinematography, Bay's preference is for rapid cutting and valuing sensation over clarity. One, or more accurately, two of Bay's biggest influences are the brothers Tony and Ridley Scott, who, like Bay, spent years directing commercials before jumping to large-scale Hollywood movies. They brought with them powerful, distinctive visual styles, using multiple cameras equipped with long lenses, atmospheric lighting, striking uses of color, and lots of smoke. Tony, in particular, is almost a precursor to Bay's career, since in the mid-'80s he linked up with producers Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson and started making blockbuster action movies, and in just a few years transformed the way these movies looked. When Tony Scott came on board to direct the sequel, Beverly Hills Cop went from looking like this to looking like this. Tony Scott was the first director to bring the sensibility of TV commercials.
I don't.
He brought the orange.
I saw some orange.
So. Okay.
I'm falling asleep listening to this.
So if you, why are we talking about Tony Scott?
Because Tony Scott is awesome.
What?
Tony Scott is cool as fuck, but I don't know what it has to do with anything.
I don't. Yeah, this is just.
Didn't Tony Scott commit suicide, or was that a different?
Yes,
Scott,
he did. That is correct.
Yeah,
that is correct.
I would too if my brother made Alien Covenant. I'm sorry, that's disrespectful to Ridley Scott.
Uncalled for.
You're so on point, Zach.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have.
You're no longer invited to Ridley Scott's birthday party.
Well, to be honest with you, he can just sit with Tony, can't he? So
you're no longer invited to anybody's birthday party. That was terrible.
Man, I haven't said anything because this is just nothing. This doesn't relate to Michael Bay, and I don't really know how this is gonna tie back in. Directors have different. Directors like different color composition. They like certain shots. They do. They like to fuck different kinds of hookers. I don't know what your point is, Patrick.
Sniff different types of blow.
There's different types.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Dealer's been holding out on me.
All right, let's get back to the content.
I don't want
to. Feature films. Every shot designed for maximum impact. Ideas delivered quickly and intensely and clearly. Fast, powerful, and sexy. Watch Top Gun.
Dude, those F-22 those F-18s were so goddamn sexy.
Fast, powerful, sexy.
Okay, cool.
And you'll see the vision of Bay's lighting style, his color palette, and his editing.
It's called The
Sun. But his other main inspiration was one of his.
So he's an auteur because he copied Tony Scott. What are you saying?
I just like the fact that look at that. There's a sun there. Yeah,
look fucking disgusting. Look at this disgusting lighting behind him.
I know. I was just about to say this. Like, okay, it's really gross. It's why is your room the color of piss?
I know why. Okay, so first off, let's first off, okay, on the edge, you can see the lens that he's using. Like, it's not straight. He didn't look at the camera to make sure that his shot was actually straight. But on top of that, he picked a lens that actually has the curvature at the zoom setting that he's in, make it look like the straight lines are bending. So that's another issue. Then he decided to key light, where he would key light kind of off center, so he has this shadow. But then that he doesn't have a hair light to actually distinguish himself from the background, right? And his opposing light, this yellow thing, is so harsh that it's causing this book on the left that you can see that's super white to be overexposed, and it's bleeding onto his forehead, making him look like he's extra sweaty. So, what else you got, Patrick?
I think that rim light behind him is like symbolizing that someone is taking a piss on his right shoulder.
It's piss lighting. Yellow is, by the way, everybody loves this sort of fluorescent yellow color that looks like those fucking little glow sticks you have. That's the best lighting. That was my favorite part of the Dread movie, was all that shitty yellow lighting.
Yeah, I just like to think he wanted to have orange lighting, but it was too cheap.
That's too cheap. Oh, bro. He's got it's like he's got one of those like hardware light setups. Right, and it's just he bought the outdoor yellow light to get rid of the bugs or whatever it is. And that's what he's just using. That's what I would do.
To orange.
For cheap.
He's using a bug zapper as a background light? Oh my god.
You can use any light source that you want as long as you have gels or filters or like mesh filters, you know what I mean? Anything, even a neutral density filter, whatever. But as long as you're setting the camera to the right setting and you know what effect you're getting, you can use almost any light you want. What you can't do is just put a harsh light on something. That just looks cheap. You have to do something. You have to bounce it, do something. You have to fill. People that are really good at lighting, they're like masters of it. They're like, all right, here's a shadow. I'm going to move this a little bit and every shot looks good and realistic, even though the things that are lit are exactly what you're supposed to be looking at. You never want, one of the key things, and this is in lighting and also comic book artistry, is that the eye is attracted to white and bright spots. So the only bright spots should be intentional. You want to put a little bit of brightness here so that people can see the background, and that's where as far as you want their eye to go, that's good. You want to put the main amount of brightness on whatever object or subject you're trying to show. If there's something that's contradicting that, you're going to be messing up your palette. You're going to be messing up your composition.
Mm-hmm.
Here is Joe Crazy. The color is called R. Kelly's Golden Shower. Thank you, Joe Crazy.
Yeah. You pull it. You're going through your paint chip catalog. Oh yeah, R. Kelly's Golden Shower. Oh, I love that. That's great. Fantastic warmth there.
The yellow ochre, liquid form. Yeah.
So much piss on the stream. Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, it's just Joe Crazy.
soup piss chat or something like that.
It started with Jake. Now it's continuing with Joe. Yeah, they just like to talk about bodily fluids a lot.
The two J's. Hello, Joe Bag of Donuts. There you go.
Hey, Joe.
Good to see you too.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joey, Bag of Donuts. How you doing, man? Hey, it's been a long time. You got a little bagel there for you out here. They'll get a little cream cheese lox on there. You're going to be having a good time. All right? Hey, I'll see you next Tuesday.
Worker, actually. This guy, David Fincher. Fincher was a co-founder of Propaganda Films, and Bay was the first director after the founders who was invited to join the company. Michael kind of worshipped David Fincher. We'd always crack up because Michael would follow David around the propaganda offices.
Could you have read that with any less enthusiasm?
Probably, yes.
You sounded like Microsoft Sam, but just given a really annoying accent.
This makes me want to move to Mecca and convert to Islam.
Dude, I'll join you. You want to get like matching prayer
mats? I'm going to
mats?
Hajj, have a real experience, get away from all this corporate art fuckery.
You didn't answer my question.
I'm moving to Africa. I'm moving to Wakanda and disappear.
You want to get matching prayer mats, Glib?
No.
Why?
Because everybody just has white. Okay.
No, they don't.
Yes, that's the point.
Wrong. You're wrong.
Everybody just wears clean linens.
No.
And then we don't have to have blorange fucking colored suits so that it matches our set.
Why not?
Like
I just want a blorange prayer mat.
No.
You're
not allowed. You're not allowed.
To Mecca.
You know why we can't have matching stuff? Because I'm an auteur, an American auteur. I'm an original.
No,
okay?
Listen, that doesn't.
All you can do is copy Tony Scott at this point.
Fincher and Bay became adversaries.
I don't want to copy Tony Scott.
It wasn't spoken, but it created a great deal of tension. Fincher was sophisticated. He was inspired by great photographers
wait,
such as...
Wait, hold on. No,
wait, that jumps. They quit.
Yeah, they became adversaries now. What the fuck?
They worshipped him. They became
Why
adversaries.
are you bad at everything? God damn you, Patrick Willems.
No, I'm down. I like this. This is good because it's
Horst P. Horst.
What do you mean? This is the person that was the founder of the...
No, I need you all to pay attention to Horst P. Horst. what fucking name is
Robert Frank and Horst P. Horst. Wow.
I'm gonna go get another cup of coffee. I'll be back.
I can't. No, why are you bad at everything, Patrick Willems? This is not how you structure essays.
You're reading names wrong.
You're reading names wrong. Why?
I actually want Steven Seagal to read this out.
Steven Seagal.
Fincher and Bay became adversaries. I can't do this.
We always do it with the Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. It's always fun.
Fincher and Bay became allies.
Okay.
Became adversaries. It wasn't spoken.
Okay. Arnold Schwarzenegger with the clamp around his ankle. Like,
Come on.
Should have invited Wiz on. It's like, Wiz, can you read this? Just read it. Just read it normally.
I'm
honestly,
TV by Rob Tannenbaum and Craig Mark.
This fucking why does
Horse be horse?
so many questions in my head just begin with why? Like, why is Patrick so shit at this? Why can't he just make a proper essay?
Because he's so far up his asshole. That's why. That's pretty much it.
It's simple.
Like, have you seen? There's like a video up there, like where they have like a podcast where like pretty much every people who the Smudcast have covered before are there. Like 5 of them. I think Maggie Mayfish.
Yep.
There's Patrick Willems and like 3 other people.
Mark, you had me at Maggie. I realised it was a shit podcast the minute you mentioned that name.
Yeah, it was like a collection of like a piece of shit. Like
Hey,
that's a really bad, that's a real bad name. That's a real bad name for a podcast.
But like they were just so full of themselves.
Smud, would you ever invite Maggie Mayfish to a guest spot on this stream?
I don't know how to contact her. She already blocked me on Twitter, so I don't know.
Tie a note to an arrow, and then just...
Would you spend 3 hours in a room with Maggie Mayfish?
Maggie is too busy doing those commercials for like shaving brands. Wow!
Chat, would you spend 3 hours in a room with Maggie Mayfish? No nutting involved.
I would have to talk to her for about at least 2 hours just to figure out why she thinks the way she does. Not her videos. Like, that's like,
why are you the way you are?
Like, why do you think this way about movies? Like, what causes you to think that Zack Snyder hates Islam? Like, where did that come from?
No. And then she would just tell you that it's all an act.
Mentioned it. I do see Maggie as a sort of woman who do commercials for like thrush medicine.
I understand you have to work and get money and do things for a living and whatever she does, and she does many things, so it's fine. She's busy, but she never stopped to. Maybe I should talk to people who aren't as crazy as. But maybe I should slow down just for one moment and just look around and see. Get a second opinion. Just random person off the internet and say, "What do you think of this?" Just get that.
That's literally the reason why I like to talk to everybody. I said this on the Smudcast 200. You got to talk to everybody, because when you don't, and you only talk to your lefties or your righties, and people that think like you and agree with you on everything, that's how you end up like Maggie Mayfish. That's how you end up like the Twitter mob. It's you as much as you might find it annoying, go talk to some SJWs. Go talk to some people that want to secede from the United States and create their own.
I want to secede from brand new Texas.
Just talk to everybody. Talk to everybody.
No one's stopping you, Glib.
Fuck lots of dudes, Glib. Go fuck lots of dudes. That way you'll find truth.
Maybe they'll have a intelligent thing to say about content.
There you go. But basically, just talk to everybody so that you can gain a wider perspective and not end up like Maggie Mayfish or Patrick Willems.
Anyway, the point of this thing that Patrick is trying to bring up is that both Fincher and Bay worked at propaganda films at the same time in their careers. Before they were film people, they were doing commercials. And this group was supposed to be a production company that also represented people. So you could get work as a director more consistently because they were producing content at this group while also getting the contracts to do so on behalf of their clients. And Fincher and Bay during that time period probably started to dislike each other because Fincher is a fucking artist And Bay, they want to say he's a genius, but I don't know why people keep saying this shit. They just are it's the Hollywood speak for he's the other guy. You know what I mean? He was a technical genius. Why? Because he knew something about cameras? What the fuck are you talking about? What makes him a technical genius?
Yeah, if you have to explain to someone that he's a technical genius and just use the word technical genius, I doubt it.
Oh, it's like, I'm a film. Who's a technical genius in film? Like, what? Stanley Kubrick? Why wouldn't he be? Right? Like somebody that actually knows what they're doing in the business. Ridley Scott or James Cameron, technical genius because they actually know the production work. What do you mean by technical? So it's like that's obviously a little piece of propaganda. Bay was a technical genius, but he had the mind of a teenager. His sensibility was juvenile. There's the backhanded compliment. He was a technical genius, but he was a fucking idiot, teenager type who never grew up and kept making bullshit and became a 50-year-old, 16-year-old boy, and that's why he's a fucking douchebag, dickhead, and his films are so shallow. There you go. But he used a telephoto lens and he used a crane, so he's a fucking film genius. Suck that dick.
Whoa, Glib. Come on. He also had orange and blue, so come on.
He also had blue and orange. You're right. Thank you for reminding me. The color combination. If you combine two different colors that on the spectrum are oppositional, you're a genius.
Just don't use yellow.
Shit, where were we? Here we go.
By great photographers such as Robert Frank and Horst P. Horst. Bay was a technical genius like Fincher, but he had the mind of a teenager. His sensibility was juvenile. Michael Bay was known as the Little Fincher. Bay borrowed and ripped off several visuals from Fincher videos.
Oh my god, blue orange!
Women are bathing.
By the way, the blue and orange thing comes from blue light and orange light are cool and warm on the Kelvin scale for color. So when you look at when you are in film school for the first time, one of the things that you see in color theory is blue to orange, because those are the natural colors of the sun and the horizon, and at different times of day, that's the color combos that are most natural, right? And then you also get the tint scale, which is green to purple, which is why so many fucking college students isolate these colors and use them in contrast, because they go, this must be the right way to do this. And then the real advanced people are people that are combining all these different colors, slightly changing the subtleties of reality to fit their looks. And if you want to be like Wes Anderson, like Patrick does, you make color palettes and then build everything around the color palette combination. But making complex color palettes based on how people are going to respond to certain colors in color theory is deeper than looking at the Kelvin scale and going, I'm going to match the blue with the orange. That's the basic bitch shit, and I want everybody to be aware of that so we get less of that. Zack Snyder.
Blue Orange Man bad.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, I vote for it.
Unless that's
Zack
literally
Snyder, I assume you're about to tell me to fuck off.
Unless you're accurately describing what's happening at a certain time of day with blue and orange, it always looks fucking like first grade shit for film.
Yeah.
Like I bet that in some contexts it looks fine.
Yeah. When the sun is setting and you have soldiers that are patrolling in Band of Brothers and the background is just this warm orange because the sun is setting, and the way that the black in the front looks with the silhouettes of the soldiers with the backed by that gold and orange look, yeah, that looks great. But it doesn't look great when you go, I'm gonna make this scene that's taking place indoors just be all orange and blue orange. Why? Just because those are colors. That's not a good reason. You have to have a reason for something.
My reason is that I like it.
Fuck you. That's not a good enough reason.
Oh,
that's a hack reason.
Stop.
If you like something, generate something that is good. And you like, because earlier, remember we were saying you can like a movie, but it doesn't make it good. And from the creative perspective, you can like something, but putting it in your movie doesn't make it good. So make something good that you like. You fucking hack.
Yeah, so because Fincher used a shot of a woman in a bathtub, and is that a music video? I don't even know what that is, but
I think that's
either a music video or commercial.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's a woman in a. What do you think you do in a bathtub? Put an attractive woman in a bathtub. Wow, you could film it. That's great. It's what is the point here?
I better see a tit.
No, stop interrupting.
It's a very like, he did the biplane. I'm like, okay, biplanes, sure, maybe that's a thing that he's known for. It'd be kind of tacky to be known for as the biplane guy or whatever. But now he's the little Fincher guy. He's like, what?
What? Yeah. So Patrick is low key insulting him. Like he was called the little bitch.
A little bitch boy. A little
He was called Fincher's little dick sucking symbiote. Like, it's like, wow, thanks, Patrick.
Videos and assimilated them into his far more bombastic style.
Wait,
when they began their feature film careers, their paths diverged sharply. In 1995,
yeah, no
made
shit.
movies
Can't
about
rip him off
pairs of
anymore.
detectives. Fincher made 7, and Bay made something very different. For years, Jerry Bruckheimer and Dunn have been discovering new directors through commercials and music videos.
Oh, it's so
Filmmakers
bad.
with strong visual styles who can work fast, make things look expensive, and communicate to
Look
a
fast,
mainstream
make
audience.
things look expensive.
After
What do you
success
mean
with
by
people
that,
like
Patrick?
Adrian Lin and Tony
What do
Scott,
you mean?
the next filmmaker to bring up to the big leagues was Michael Bay. Bad Boys is a relatively low-budget buddy cop action comedy that Bay elevates by bringing the full force of his maximalist style. Every shot, even in comedic dialogue scenes,
What makes it
looks
maximalist?
expensive, with dramatic lighting and intense camera movement.
What do you mean by
Action
dramatic
feels
lighting? What do you mean by
huge, Partly
intense?
because Bay paid for some of it out of pocket to achieve the result he wanted.
Okay, so he
This
paid for
could have
what?
been another Lethal Weapon knockoff, but Bay makes it glossier, louder.
How? How does he make it glossier and louder?
You need
How?
examples. You need examples. You need to say, this is why it's this way. This is why it's this way. This is an example of Michael Bay's style. This is an example of what Michael Bay likes. You need to have examples. You can't just say shit. God damn you.
He was trying to show how good Michael Bay was, as in like his art style and direction. As a bloke was thrown from a plane on fire.
Dude, this is high school. This is high school essay writing. You need to quantify your points.
He made it bigger and better and more actiony.
Cool, tell me what that means. Fucking goddamn fucking piece of shit.
I'm under the
I'm giving
impression
you an F on your high school paper.
I never liked Bad Boys. It was crap.
That was a long time ago.
Patrick gets an F on his high school fucking Michael Bay paper. He gets an F.
No,
Big fat F.
Patrick just gets a long stare from the professor till like awkwardly walks out the room.
I think I know why he likes Bay so much, because all his scripts involve him. I can make a shot talking about this scene, and then I'll cut to another scene of the same movie, and I'll talk about the scene I like from that. It's just this constant line of thinking of I can make a shot with this, I can make a shot with that, without actually having a relevant point to argue what is a Michael Bay story, what is a Michael Bay film, what makes it Michael Bay.
Yeah.
And we still don't know, aside from he has long shots and he has some close-up shots, he has some crane shots, he's got this. It's like, okay, yes, you learned this in film school. What makes it Michael Bay?
Yeah, but like I say, explosions and thing. What was it? Roland Emmerich.
That's the general public understanding of his films, because he does action films, right? So, all right, great. That's the genre he works in. So he needs to do CGI, he needs to do pyrotechnics, he needs to do all these things on set. Great. Yeah. Where is that?
Yeah, explain how those are amazing. Yeah, but explain how those are amazing. Just go, oh, he does this. What? Yeah, I know. I watched the movie.
Because
he does that.
I
know. I watched the movie.
If he kept doing Bad Boys, I don't think he'd be Michael Bay or be known as Michael Bay. This is not Michael Bay to me. This is just some old action flick from the 90s, I guess. I can't remember when this came out.
95.
95. Yeah, it's an old film. So it's like, all right, yeah, great.
It's an old film. I was a year old when this came out. Oh no.
And more intense. Get into something unique. There's a scene about half an hour from the end of Bad Boys.
How is it
where you
unique?
can see
Tell us,
Michael Bay
Patrick.
as we know him being born. It's like witnessing the final moment of his origin story. The scene begins already insane, with Will Smith on foot chasing down a speeding SUV.
Will Smith running?
Almost every
Telephoto lens, by the way.
Bay's filmmaking ethos appears. There's the fetishistic wanton destruction of public property.
What? Yeah, but that happened in
scantily clad models. Then, as the chase continues through several buildings, Bay's weird juvenile sense of humor appears. Will Smith takes cover in a hair salon full of old women.
So comedy.
The villains trip over a group of men in wheelchairs. The spatial
Comedy.
geography is vague at best. Bay cuts from a gunshot to a dramatic reaction from Martin Lawrence, who hasn't appeared in 2 minutes and whose location is totally unclear.
What are you talking about?
What are you about here?
Will Smith is running somewhere
You are
in slow
just
motion.
describing
Where is he?
the movie.
It doesn't
As
matter.
in-
It looks awesome. And Bay keeps
Why does it look
until
awesome?
it finally pays off. And let's be clear, this is the shot that took Will Smith from The Fresh Prince and turned him into a
Why?
star.
What do you mean?
With the first ever appearance
What do you mean?
of
What?
the iconic Michael Bay shot. The low angle, long lens, circular dolly.
Okay,
around
now he's
heroes
finally
as they
saying
stand up
something.
into frame. This
Took
shot
him 10
feels like the
minutes.
culmination of the entire
He just
scene.
copied lessons
Like
from the
Michael Bay
screenplay.
is a Pokemon evolving into
A
his final
Pokemon? Alright, I'm done. That's it.
He's
That's
hip.
it. I'm never taking you seriously ever again, Patrick.
Patrick is hip with the cool kids. He knows all the
Can I
terms.
just say, he
Pokemon.
just literally...
He's like Harry Potter! He's becoming a wizard!
Again, Harry fucking... But, he just literally read the screenplay of the last scene of, like, Bad Boys. Until right at the end, like Glib said, he never actually explained anything. He was just literally going through the movie. I'm like, yeah, I know, I've watched the movie. Why is this good? Oh, it looks awesome. That's not an explanation. Why is it good? I mean, I laugh
It's
at
awesome.
disabled people being knocked over in a wheelchair as much as the other guy, but why is it good?
All right, so the one thing we do know is he has the one camera shot angle. He has some zoom ins of action scenes and slow mos of those scenes. It's like, okay, yeah. I've seen
hates
that
bikes.
in James Bond films since the 70s, so
Yeah, exactly. It's literally, there's these action scenes. We could just go to any, even fucking Steven Seagal movie. Yeah,
you can go to
exactly the same.
Dukes of Hazzard and watch that show, and it has all kinds of zoom ins and slow mo and cars going off ramps.
Michael Bay didn't invent action movies in 1995. There'd been, 15 years plus of those types of movies?
Yeah, usually what you do with a certain style of a writer or videographer or whatever, you say, here's a little part of his film where you can compare it to the other film, and they're very similar in that technique he's using. It's like, yeah, you could do that. He was just describing several shots in succession.
The scene,
It was like,
no, he was describing a scene. He just described, like, a few scenes that happened near the end. It's like, yeah, we know. We've all seen the movie. We've all watched it.
yeah, we could do that with, I do it with authors all the time, and when they write multiple books or trilogies or poems or whatever, it's like, oh, he's using, like Neil Gaiman does all sorts of references to Norse or types of mythology and uses that god as a reference for some thing they have to overcome or strive for. Happens all throughout his short stories. In fact, all of his short stories became longer stories that became popular, so it's always like this progression. So yeah, he started with a poem, then he went to a short story, then he wrote another short story, got popular, he did an anthology, people liked it, he wrote a book, maybe he started with a comic. There's all this progression you could trace. Now, obviously, it's different for people making movies, but I don't think every movie can be like, oh, and this entire 2 minutes of a film is like the entire 2 minutes of that. No, it's little techniques here and there. Every shot is going to be special. So I don't like this. I don't know why he brought up David Fincher's bathtub and all this other stuff.
It's just like this thing. He was ripping him off the whole time.
Yeah, of course he was.
And then he went in a different direction.
Yeah.
No longer ripping him off. Ripping off other people now.
Like every student does
Rip
this
off.
with their teacher anyway, because they're taught that way. I don't know if Fincher was his teacher, but I don't think so.
No.
Steal from the best.
Yeah, and Fincher is probably one of the best.
Right. But like, so what?
Yeah, but I just can't hear that phrase "steal from the best" without remembering Jornson.
Ryan. No, that was JJ.
Steal from the no, it was
JJ said that.
No, it was Jornson.
What? Why would you say that? What are you basing that on?
An interview or a director's commentary that he did. He said "steal from the best." I think referring to Hoth or the Salt Planet that I can't.
So they're both hacks. Okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna exactly argue that.
Why do we need to know how long the movies
After proving
are?
himself with a relatively low-budget movie,
Oh my
Bay
God.
upgraded with his next project.
Okay, so
I'm not comfortable with Patrick being above me like this.
yeah, so just for everybody,
He's looking down on you.
yeah, for everybody watching this, just don't ever have the camera below your chin. Not a great framing.
Well, let's just
You wanna
say,
you
show
gotta
off-
do it.
Typically,
You gotta
you want
do
to
it.
show off your jawline.
well, 30-degree angle or whatever the angle that is, not the best.
It's the dick sucking angle, basically. He wants you to kneel before him.
Kneel before.
Maybe this
Boy,
speaks more about Patrick
Beautiful
that he
King
had
Patrick.
like some working the porn industry.
Yeah.
Kneel before Pat.
There's his light source on the left, whatever the hell that is, but it's just very dark in this room.
3 Patricks out of Goldman. What the fuck? Green skin.
Oh my god.
I like that rating
Also,
system.
with lighting and everything, is some of his stuff reflecting off of the wall there?
I'm confused.
Probably.
It's reflecting on the books.
Oh yeah, you can see the light he's using.
Yeah.
Next to the book.
But it's like pitch
Shelf.
black because
Oh, so he is bouncing it.
it's pitch black
Yeah,
behind
you can
him.
actually.
It's the whole room is dark except there's one light source.
So basically, he color coded it afterwards. He did just like a warm thing. Okay.
But yeah,
Got
you can, if you ever record it, make sure that you've got no reflective stuff because it's people notice it.
I swear to God, if he's going to shill for Skillshare,
Oh,
if
he
wants
will.
to
Oh, don't
be
worry.
able to make something like this.
He
Shill
always
scare.
shills. All these guys do that. Anyway.
This time he had
You
big
wanna
movie
learn how
stars
to
and a
make
big
shitty
budget.
camera angles like me? I wasn't saying anything of substance. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And with The Rock, several key developments in Bay's work happened.
Wait.
He was the
Did
first director
Development?
to
they
cast
just
Did he just
Bay
say
in
development?
an
produce The
action
Rock
movie.
in 1 year?
Cage's character is the sort of protagonist that appears in several Bay films, later embodied by Sam Witwicky in Transformers.
What?
All right.
Oh, just the goofball.
He
Whoa.
was weak and emasculated and hopelessly out of his depth. But then over the course of the film,
But
he
it's
grew
Nicolas
into the sort
Patrick.
of guy who casually shoots bad guys with rockets.
Wow, that's so auteur and unique to him.
Then there are two of the biggest themes in all of Bay's work.
Themes?
His love of the military and his dislike of...
Get your bingo cards, people.
Oh no, don't even bother.
Don't bother. Oh, we're not doing bingo on this one.
What did he say? Dislike for what? Disdain. What did he say?
This is
Can we
really-
roll back?
Just roll it back. Yeah, just roll it back.
Yeah, I got you.
guy who casually shoots bad guys with rockets.
He walked into
Then
that
there are
rocket, by
two
the
of
way.
the biggest themes in all of Bay's work. His love of the military and his dislike of the government. Bay is
What?
legendary for fetishizing...
He has two themes.
Wait.
The love of
Wait, he's gonna say fetishizing the military.
I mean,
What?
they're the
No,
guys.
yeah,
they're the guys that have the guns, right? Who else?
Yes,
Like who?
the military
Who
is still
would
part of the
replace?
government.
Who else is he gonna use? You know what I mean? Like what? What do you mean?
Fetishizing.
Cowboys.
Fetishizing the government. Also,
Yeah, what-
why
no,
are
no,
there
no, no.
No.
3 sergeant
Hating the
sergeant
government.
first classes carrying that casket? That never happened.
Because it's Tuesday.
the small man. It's a small person.
It's but no. There's
Definitely.
there's 1, 2, 3 sergeant first classes. I can see 2 private second classes. I don't know the dude in the back.
Because it's super important, dude.
They would be all privates or sergeants.
No, it's super important. They need fucking
important.
command sergeant of the entire army, command sergeant major, sergeant major, first class, command
miss-
warrant officer, petty officer, chief, Richard Petty.
Colonel Sergeant, Captain Major.
We need a 5-star general to carry this man's body because he's so important.
I
The
miss
correct
Sergeant Major
answer is-
Daly.
The correct answer to Bazak is they ran out of uniforms. They had to use what they had.
Yeah, basically, nobody there in the costume department knew who would be wearing it. Nobody gave a shit
Yeah.
about the protocol.
The guy in the background's actually got a Czechoslovakian uniform. That's
It's not even the right uniform. A Michael Bay film, totally inaccurate in every way.
the American military. and making movies that pretty much double as recruitment videos. Another
Bear in mind, I'll just say about The Rock. Sean Connery's SAS. How's that recruitment to the American military?
You think Patrick would have a chance in the U.S. Army?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. To be a chef.
No.
Not a chef like Steven Seagal, though.
I'm asking for your professional opinion, Zach.
Could Patrick
chef, I'll make you real gumbo, man. Beat you up, man.
Could Patrick make it in the military? He would probably be the guy that would like fake a suicide attempt.
No, he wouldn't.
Halfway through basic training.
No fucking way. He would be a pogue. He'd be the most pogue that ever pogued in the whole pogue.
He'd be the guy that the army chefs served.
He's gonna go full metal.
He would just drive a truck around. What are you talking about? The military isn't like some elite institution. It's full of fat fucks now.
Yeah.
It's fucking dumb. Of course they take him. Here's the thing. He'd get a million exemptions and he'd never have to do PT.
Patrick's such a whiny little baby, though.
So what? You telling me that there's no whiny babies in the military?
I agree, but
go run around. Zach, I can tell you.
Zach, don't answer that question. My client declines to answer this question.
Go run it. Yeah. There's no fucking guy in the military that has a fucking fat exemption and complains all the time.
Dude, I know plenty. My last platoon sergeant was the fattest fucker I've ever seen in the military. Always told us to do PT. Always told us that he wanted us to have a fucking 300 PT score and shit. Never once saw him work out.
Fat fuck.
Yeah, I fucking couldn't stand that guy.
No, I'm just kidding.
Get your ass up, soldier! You ready? Never once have I heard that in my fucking 6 years.
That's how the military used to be before you joined. Back when we all had mustaches in the 80s.
In the first scene of The Rock. Even the villain, played by Ed Harris, is portrayed with more nobility and respect than any of the government
You little chicken wing, you're M16, soldier!
bureaucrats.
Yeah,
who are
but
all
Patrick.
cowards and liars. But
Yes,
with
they
The Rock,
are.
It
They
felt
are.
like Bay
That's
was
called the
taking the
government.
baton from Tony Scott
He was taking this dick
and running with it, ushering in a new era of American action movies. With
Who cares?
huge Hans Zimmer
Nobody
scores,
gives a shit about anything
Yeah.
Patrick is saying.
faster
Fuck
editing.
yeah!
Orange!
Explosion!
Whoa, that was it! Okay!
He never
Michael Bay pretty much
This legitimately makes me want to take a nap. Like, I'm chugging coffee right now to try and stay awake. I just woke up, but this whole video is so devoid of content. Like, if you went to school and it was taught by Patrick, you wouldn't be able to do anything. You wouldn't know anything about it. You'd just be like, wow, yeah, he's really cool. He's like this auteur guy, I guess. Like, Fincher didn't like something, you know?
Why? Joy and
I feel
peace.
like Patrick Williams is a kid that...
Willems, not Williams.
Sorry.
You heathen.
I'm sorry. I'll go flog myself later.
Do
Drop
not
down and give me 20.
insult the Welsh nation.
Shut the fuck. So I feel like he's the kid that constantly interrupts the teacher, and either
No, he's not
correcting or
me.
trying
He's
to
not
correct.
me.
The actual thing for this, actually, orange and blue are really good. Because I can.
Hey, that's racist.
Yeah, that is incredibly racist.
Right. So basically what we're saying is that Patrick needs to join the military.
exclusive.
Yes.
I mean, it might toughen him up a bit.
It's what he's always done, and it's what he's always going to do. So, how does he actually approach his action?
Probably by
Wait a second.
meditating.
Is this an episode of Blue Flame
with a
Special?
camera.
What?
Episode of retard special?
What did
What's
he
going
just
on?
say? What? Oh God! Audio.
Whoa.
Special, aren't you, son?
Audio. God
kill
damn
me.
you!
Welcome to Blue
Just
Flame
fucking
Special.
kill
Now,
me.
We've all already
Oh my
seen
god, you
everything.
guys! Again with the harsh light. Okay, see how he's got this like bright
He's got
spot
some
on his
sheen.
skull?
Yeah, he's got
That
some
sheen?
sheen
That's
there.
because he's using a direct light source on him, and it's a blue LED light source. He doesn't look. You get see you can even see the light source in the fucking reflection of this poster back here.
Yep.
The entire room is not lit up except
noticed
for this
that?
white light and this blue light, and it's just a terrible setup.
I just noticed something about Patrick. He's got a hairy chest.
So do I.
I noticed the Switzerlander sweater he's wearing, but you know.
I like that. That's a nice sweater.
Yeah.
I bet his mother got it for him.
Well, I would wear that sweater.
No, his mother's not getting him anything.
Well, if you're freezing cold, wear whatever you like. Yeah.
No, you wouldn't,
disappointed in him for
You would not,
spending
Glib.
last
I
July.
am too small for you.
Then I would wear you as a hat.
Am I gonna be your new Stetson?
I mean, yes. I make that's terrible lore. I make hats out of my enemies.
I make hats out of my enemy.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was your enemy, Glib.
You are now.
Oh, well,
We'll see about that.
I'll. Do you want to?
Negative disposition right now. You have to bring that up to a positive, like a video game.
I like your Stetson.
No, you can't butter me up. That's not how I like people.
Do you want a Pepsi?
You gotta prove it to me through performance.
Do you want
violence, speed, and momentum? Just like Dr.
want-
Disrespect.
In
Do you
interpretive dance.
Do you want a Pepsi?
See, this is why we don't get along, because you offer me Pepsi. Do you think I'm subhuman?
Painting video visual
How is
style,
Pepsi
so I
subhuman?
won't rehash that here. What I do want to talk about is how Bay goes about crafting an action scene. I have a list of general rules and principles that I think make...
All right. So if he's gonna talk about or analyze how Bay films an action scene, he needs examples to point out specific. What's the word I'm looking for? He needs examples to point out specific aspects of each scene, such as camera angles or shaky cam, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he needs to show Bay repeatedly using those examples. Let's see if he does any of that.
good action scene. Things like clear stakes and motivation, clarity in the spatial geography, tension, reversals, and generally telling a story. What's strange about Bay's action scenes is the way they fail to do almost any of those, and yet they're still often pretty effective. When you look at a bad action scene like the car chase in Quantum of Solace, the
pretty
problem is
effective. That is
okay.
That is slowly getting more down to not very effective.
So he admits the
did I
movies
say
are bad.
analyze? Did I say analyze?
Well, no. He's saying these scenes are bad, but they're also effective, and you're just like, what? How does that even?
I meant
make sense?
analyze. I don't know why I said analyze.
These are really bad, but they're really effective.
I don't.
No, that.
Usually when we talk about observations, we say this is a good thing. It's because it has a function. The function of the thing does the thing it's supposed to do. You can understand the scene. You can understand the action. You can understand where the bullet's traveling, what the person's trying to shoot at, etc., etc. It's like, oh, it makes sense. He's saying this doesn't work, and yet...
But it do.
It does. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Maybe if he used different language to explain specifically a scene, which I hope he's doing right now, so maybe he's generalizing. So it doesn't have to use specifics.
Message coming in.
That
Also,
patching it through.
To say that Bay's action scenes don't follow any of the arbitrary rules that Patrick has set, such as they fail to tell a story, that's just false. His action scenes do tell a story. I can pull one out of my ass right now.
don't.
Optimus Prime fighting Megatron in Transformers 2 when Optimus gets killed. It's a huge plot point, even though that's a shitty film. But it's an action scene. It's a really cool action scene. And it's a huge plot point. So there goes that very broad statement there, Patrick. What else you got for me?
Here's Joe Crazy. Pepsi. It's all about RC Cola. Jeez.
RC Cola does hit different. I'm going to be real. I don't know why.
There was Cot, there was Pepsi, there's RC Cola, there's all sorts of pops in the 90s and 2000s. And
you say pop?
Yeah, pop.
Soda pop.
Very old school.
Soda is terrible though with the high fructose corn syrup stuff. I hate that stuff. If you're gonna make soda, you got to make it with real sugar. It's got to be real.
Oh yeah,
100% agree.
I don't think I've had cola, like American or North American cola, in a while.
Yeah, me neither.
I only have like imports from Italy, but that's like a specific brand. like San
Is that
Pellegrino.
cola or is that Italian soda?
It's basically cola, but sometimes you can turn it into a spritzer, which is an Italian spritzer. It's the same idea. But
You've already lost me. I don't even know
mineral
what a
water
cola is.
And it's basically just sugar and a sweetener. So it could be a lemon, it could be orange, it could be whatever. But
Is there a cola simple syrup? That'd be good. Just like cola nut mixed in with the simple syrup would be enough for me, and
when
then
you
make a
actually-
live Italian soda with.
I don't know if you
Whatever.
ever worked at a fast food place or even a restaurant. When you get the big container that you mix into cola, it's basically a syrup.
Yep.
It's concentrated,
Yeah.
so you have to be very careful with that.
Do they have a cola concentrate like that?
Yep.
Because that would be
Pepsi,
pretty tasty.
All of them have it. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, interesting. Very, very interesting. All right.
Just add water. Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
Bing.
Yep. Just set it all up. Yep.
I love it.
That while the scene is well staged with a clear story playing out on set, the shots
Wait, isn't this Quantum of Solace?
Solace. Yeah. Quantum of Solace. Yeah.
James Bond. Yeah. Okay.
and editing don't properly capture that,
Bames
leaving the
John.
audience struggling to figure out what's going on.
This was a
We're
terrible,
grasping at what
terrible
little bits we
edit.
can see and trying to piece it together in our minds.
I
but
hated
look at
this
a Michael
movie.
Bay car chase, like the one in Bad Boys 2.
So much exactly the same.
The geography is so unclear that it doesn't even matter. So we engage with
Okay,
it.
that's
in a different
retarded.
Wait a
The
second.
geography is so unclear.
so
They're on the fucking highway. What geography are you talking about?
I get what
I
you're
don't
saying.
see one of them
Country
before.
this is.
Look, I get why you could say that like the geography wouldn't be good, but what is this video? Is this video a criticism, or is this video a documentary? Like what? Because he's criticizing him.
Understanding a true American auteur.
But
Yeah,
I
his
don't-
car chase, car shake.
I'm not exactly sure.
Because
He
what
does
he's
the car
saying
chase. You don't know what's going on around him.
all right, well, the scenes in Quantum of Solace are so chaotic. The shaky cam, it's hard to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And he was comparing that to, I guess, the whatever he was going through in that mountain pass. So you understand geometry. You know where you are. There's a tunnel.
Well, that not in that one. I think that Quantum of Solace has really, really terrible action because they just cut from like different positions that are really way too close up. And then with Michael Bay stuff, it's like he's trying to capture the epic nature of the action. So that's the advantage that he has. He's not using the same lenses and stuff. But I don't know why Patrick is bringing this point up. What is he trying to say? What is the overall statement here, that this is how it's done, that it's good or bad? Like, what is the point?
No, he just he does it. So that's it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, because it was hard to follow all the chase scenes and action scenes of Quantum of Solace just because the director had all these crazy ideas. Like they wanted earth, air, fire, and water throughout all the film. Like so they had the fire scene and the earth scene. You're like, okay, whatever. And the shaky cam.
But the thing is, you could just because one movie does something bad doesn't mean that Michael Bay does it good.
Yeah, I can understand why he's comparing it, but I don't know why he needs to do that. Like he doesn't. If you want to talk about Michael Bay, just talk about Michael Bay. You don't need to compare it to another bad thing.
I mean, if you're going to compare it, give us an example of why you think something is good or bad, or what could be improved, or
use something which is.
What are we doing here?
Then go. Here's Michael Bay's technique, and this is why it isn't likable. But he's saying it is likable. He's saying it is good. Even though
I'm like,
it breaks all the rules. It breaks all of these rules that I just made up in my head, but it works.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
The action scenes in Tommy Wiseau's The Room are incomprehensible, but compared to Michael Bay, like, okay, you do that for a lot of things. Cool. Very strange.
Usually, you start from a proper example, like something which does work. This is 100% the way you do it, yada, yada, creative freedoms, whatever. This is like, here's two bad films. You're like, oh, okay. Is that the point? They're both bad?
Good.
But he's saying it's good. You're like, okay, Patrick, let's see what you have to say.
Instead of trying to anticipate what will happen or follow the logic of the scene, we submit to the pure sensation of what is happening at that very moment.
What makes you
and
say
Bay's
that?
entire filmmaking approach is about making what is happening at that very moment amazing. Will Smith and
What do you
Martin
mean by
Lawrence
that?
are chasing the bad guys. It's really fast. The bad guys are throwing cars.
Okay,
That's
how is
crazy.
it fast?
That car blew up. Martin Lawrence is scared. That's funny.
Okay,
Will
why
Smith
is that?
angry. Boom. As Peter DeBruge from Variety describes it, quote, Michael Bay has recognized the energy of an action sequence can replace
I don't
the logic
care
of
what
it.
someone
That can be
else.
done
Why?
Wait a second. The energy of an action sequence can replace the logic. I'm sorry. Nothing can replace logic. You either have it or you don't.
No. Yeah.
If you have,
Don't call bullshit on that.
yeah, if you have a crazy space battle where there's like thousands of things on the screen and there's all these lasers firing and things blowing up and I have no idea what's happening, just because it's awesome to look at doesn't mean you don't need logic to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Who's dying? Who's winning? Who's losing? What's happening with these characters I cared about 2 seconds ago? You can't just dangle keys in front of me and going, oh my God, look how many keys there are, without explaining me why you're doing that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like...
You can tell a story with action scenes. Yes, it's true. But you also can totally screw people up without showing a sequence of events, which is logical. Especially when the camera's spinning around, you got things blowing up behind you and around you. Like, what the hell?
This is such a Patrick H. Willems thing as well. That, you have
God.
a random
Logic
scene that he started analyzing, and then he randomly quotes someone else what he thinks about that scene. And like, who the fuck cares? Like, you're here to understand, like, give an understanding to the audience, like, why he's a true American author.
What makes
We're
him
not
good?
getting any answers to that.
What makes him bad? Why does he work well? Why doesn't he work well? This shot with the spinning the camera is good because XYZ. It's bad because this and that. It's like, great. Go on.
This
There are
video
no
has
variables,
10,000 likes.
Mm-hmm.
This video has 10,000 likes, 292 dislikes, 303,000 views. I'm trying to... He doesn't... Oh my fucking God. He doesn't even have like a description of like what this video is supposed to be about. But so yeah, the only thing we can take for a thesis statement is understanding a true American auteur. And so far, we're about halfway through this video. He hasn't done any of that except say Michael Bay sucks, but he also doesn't.
There is part 2, Zach. Remember that?
Yeah, we're not.
I'm okay.
We're not going to get that far.
He both does and doesn't suck, depending on whatever's convenient.
I'm just.
We are halfway done though, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Let's get the. Go
one of the top comments is I like to call his style horny Spielberg.
Yeah, I saw that.
Horny Spiel.
Yeah. What if Titanic, but we win at the end? What?
What?
Against the iceberg? You hit the iceberg and you what?
What?
Bro, did you watch all of Titanic? Who made that comment?
Titanic, but the good guys win.
James Cameron, the very best at what he does.
How has Michael Bay never become involved in the Fast and Furious franchise?
Who cares?
I don't know.
Nobody cares.
Here's Tyler Preston. Thanks for the donation. Since Michael Bay is the true American auteur, we need Bay to direct the reboot of the 80s TV show The Greatest American Hero before the idiots of Hollywood makes it woke as F. They're remaking The Greatest American Hero? Why?
I don't even know
Who
what that
wants
is.
that?
What even is that?
It is this. Oh my God. You don't want to know. It is so bad.
I'm fine.
You don't want to know. Honestly, you honestly don't want to know.
I've lived nearly 27 years without knowing. I think I can survive 27 more.
Yeah.
Your movement, effects of the action sequence. Another is through cutting. I think what he does is a combination of the two. Bay's emphasis is less on the story of the action and more on the feeling. We submit to the
feeling. Okay, so it can't be about the action, and it can only be about the. Oh my fucking God.
How did it make you feel?
How does the action scene make you feel?
Confused.
This is where we are now.
It feels like I've wasted $10.
It's no longer how does the film make you feel? How did this action scene and the way it was shot make you feel? It makes me feel like you're a shitty YouTube creator, Patrick.
Why have I got to answer all your questions? It's your video.
This was excellent. One of your best examinations yet.
What?
By a YouTube channel called Performance Check.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see. I see cars in the scene. I see a highway. Buildings. And a Ferrari.
Message coming
And
in.
also a grey sky, so...
Absorbing
no
the beautiful
orange.
destruction as fast as our brains can process it, with the character's big, clear reactions as our emotional...
Big clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
They hate
Best,
that
it
shit.
becomes sort of abstract art, less a story and more a symphony of color, movement, and destruction.
Okay,
Symphony.
so is that a fucking shit? Is he throwing shade on him again? Sounds like an insult.
This sounds as if he's,
Yeah, probably.
he's describing like a classic musician or a composer, and there's like some really bombastic experimental ones out there, and he's saying he's kind of like that, but it's kind of hard to follow, and he never really made it past the Royal Conservatory. He never got his dues, but they hired him anyway, and he pretty much broke the budget with buying like all the bass, all the drum kits, and all the percussion guys. Just like 10 percussion guys. They boom, 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 boom. Like that's the noise. Like it's really loud, and it makes you think. And you're like, yeah, your eardrums are gone. It doesn't mean it makes sense, or there's a beat to follow, or there's a drum, there's a treble to make with the bass line. It's like
if you think symphony is just about big loud noises, you've never.
To a there's actually a sound clip called Orc Hit, which is basically all the orchestra just hits the loudest note they can at the end of a song or whatever. It's like just keep doing that. That's fun. It's like no, it's not music.
Oh no.
No, that's ear rape.
No, I just found this comment. Such a great video. I've never seen any of your content before, but I'm definitely watching more.
Oh boy. Joe Crazy. Titanic reboot starring Seagal as Jack.
No. Fuck Steven Seagal and fuck you.
Yes. What? Take that back.
Fuck Steven Seagal.
Current Steven Seagal.
Schlieben.
I can't imagine Steven Seagal being an artist. Sorry, it just doesn't work.
Christopher Nolan is a fan of Bay's films, which seems kind of insane. But when you think about it a bit, there are quite a few similarities in their techniques.
I wish
shut
you would
up.
think about anything
Just
a bit.
stop.
What are you on about here?
You
What are
can
actually
like
about
Michael
here?
Bay films for whatever reason, but when you think about it, because he's also a visual creator on the cinema experience, you do the same thing here. It's like, no, Patrick, stop. This isn't helping. I don't think he has anything relevant to the topic.
No, he really hasn't.
No.
He really hasn't. It's quite frustrating.
He's
Also
mentioned
this
all these
comment.
other directors. Now he's going to like a fifth one. It's like, I don't know. I don't care. Just tell me what Michael Bay films are.
Christopher Nolan says this. What? Yeah, okay, cool. Christopher Bay
No.
says a lot.
He
Christopher
likes
Bay.
his
Christopher
films.
Bay.
Wait,
Christopher Nolan.
wait. My name is Bay, so I was startled by this thumbnail for a moment. What?
What?
That's a comment.
What? Yeah, cool.
Like
yeah.
if I start talking
What the
about like Tolkien, I was like, oh, he's so close to C.S. Lewis. Like, here's what C.S. Lewis and Tolkien said one day when they were talking. It's like, I don't care.
And they both have abbreviations for names. What?
It's just, dude, stop with the anecdotal references and just tell me what the hell Michael Bay is as a film auteur. Just show it to me. Tell me.
So far, the only bit of information you've given to me is how long Bad Boys was and how long The Rock was.
I don't know what.
That's the only actual bit of information. It's like, okay, cool. The Rock, 2 hours and 19 minutes.
We still
Excellent.
haven't
Thank
gotten
you for
to
that.
How many screenwriters were working on them?
Yeah, we still haven't gotten to what
and
he's
3
known for,
screenwriters.
which is, was it Milk Money? I think that's the thing that put him on the map. What else was there?
Yeah.
Like before Transformers. Like if you want to talk about stuff before Transformers, what made him special?
I don't know. He did. I mean, yeah, Bad Boys, but he did
The Rock, yeah,
Pearl
obviously.
Harbor one
But
that everyone hates.
it's just like, dude, get to the point of whatever Michael Bay is, then show how he's different with the Transformers stuff, because that's what he's known for. Like, show us this is Michael Bay 1, Michael Bay 2, how he's evolved, whatever. Don't just start saying he uses color palettes. It's like, thanks. That's good.
Yeah, but so far he's really mentioned Bad Boys a lot. I'm like,
yeah, I don't know.
Yes. And it's like, well,
because
this
he
thing happens
watched
in Bad
it.
Boys. It's like, yes, but it's like all he's doing is explaining things that happened, not like what was the process behind it, why it was so good. It's like, this scene happened. It's like, yes, I watched the movie. Yes, I saw that.
That's what I'm getting so frustrated about. Is that I just want him to substantiate a single fucking argument, a single fucking point, a single fucking example.
We see their faces. Yes. And anyway, Christopher Nolan said this about him. Wait, no, okay.
This is just shit thrown onto the YouTube proverbial wall.
Anyway, let's just
let's keep going. Yeah.
Especially action. Their action uses largely practical effects and is shot on location with CG elements added.
Why are we talking about Nolan?
Their action can be chaotic with an emphasis on feeling and implication over geography and clarity.
What?
If you tone down-
What
does that mean?
That doesn't actually make it good. That actually is bad too. Like, why is he celebrating bad filmmaking? I don't understand this. Just because these people have
the action is or where we are, what's going on, but goddamn, the action looks good.
The reason is they defended TLJ. They know whatever they have to say has to still fit into that mindset, otherwise I'll get called out on it. So we go, shit, TLJ is this pile of shit, but I said it was good. So now I've got to make out that all these other pieces of shit are good, otherwise people will call me a hack. It's like, okay.
No, it's pretty That's pretty good. Yeah. It's a good way of looking at it.
You have to make sure their takes are consistently shit.
Yeah, because otherwise I'll get called hacks. Even though everyone calls them hacks anyway, it's like ship sailed with that, mate.
Found the intensity of Bay's action, give it a more naturalistic color palette and lighting style. It's not too dissimilar from Nolan's.
Okay,
and it's
so
not
what?
surprising that Nolan might study how
how is that relevant?
Sequences like that.
Okay,
Part of
but
what
why?
makes Bay's action as compelling as it is his surprisingly restrained use of CGI.
Is he playing
Instead of
music
switching
here?
to almost
He is.
Yeah.
Why is he? What?
I don't know.
Why?
entirely action scenes like you'll see in most superhero
Because he has
movies
so
these
little
days.
to say,
They
so he
shoot
needs
the
to like
action
add something
live on-
else.
We just jumped to Transformers. Okay, all right. Why? What? No build up, just you just Transformers time. Okay.
Oh my god. Well, no, he's talking about Bay's very sparse use of CGI.
Yeah, in
Which-
Transformers.
Didn't
I would not have
steal
used Transformers for that.
Also, you know, in this scene here, isn't it like, didn't he steal like certain scenes from? Is it The Island? Is that the movie? The CGI and stuff. In this scene, Michael Bay. I might be remembering it wrong, but yeah, in The Island with I think Ewan McGregor, there's a scene on a highway, and it's like I think Michael Bay took that scene and used it in here.
There were movies like that,
Reused.
or like even his own movies. I believe so. I have seen like a comparison video of that.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so this scene is like he's just copied. He's literally just taken this scene from another movie.
Yeah.
So cool. He's an auteur. So excellent.
Steal from the best.
It's sampling, bro.
Location, real explosions, crashes, and destruction. Saving
Real
the CGI for
explosions.
compositing
You
specific
said
elements
that with a
robots into the
fucking
scene. If nothing else,
Real
there's still the pure
explosions.
joy of watching real things.
Yeah,
blow
this
up.
is
and it makes the effect
Okay,
better
fine.
because most of the
Blow
scene we're
things
looking
up.
at is
Okay,
actually tangible.
that's totally a Michael
Say
Bay
that
The
thing.
Transformers
Can I just say you're
times
seeing
10
real things explode?
Yeah.
As a fucking transformer explodes. It's like
Yeah.
okay then.
He doesn't use that
we
much
get it.
CGI.
Real
Look at his explosions. They're all real.
Yeah, but that's fair enough. Yeah, you want real, explosions, but that's not like that's not special to Michael Bay. Michael Bay would just use whatever that would just explode. Like that's a rule of thumb.
Pyrotechnics. Yeah, pyrotechnics has existed.
What is this point gonna be?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Quantum of Solace territory. Because the designs of the robots are so complicated and similar, and there's so much happening on screen, we're left struggling to figure out who is who, where one Transformer...
Okay, so how is this? How are you helping me understand this, then? You're just saying it's not understandable?
No, this is on the topic of his CGI! What?
Well, CGI isn't the topic.
If it's people shooting or driving, then sure, that's easy to grasp. But something like this...
Yeah, I can see what's going on.
Why is it hard to grasp that?
Three robots are fighting each other.
What do you mean? What is going on?
Three robots are fighting each other in the forest.
How is that different from like any other just like two guys fighting sequence? It's the exact same shot.
Yeah.
Dude,
you have to dock Bay points for
he's a troll.
To
he's
the
got to be a
degradation in the clarity of action scenes over the past 20 years. Sure, he might do it fairly effectively, but he started a trend of disorienting, rapidly edited scenes that would eventually...
How do you know that he started that trend?
You need to show how he started the trend.
When didn't Jason Bourne do stuff like that with quick...
That's Paul Greengrass.
Jason, fuck, it's Jesus Bourne.
Shaky cam is not the same thing as fast cuts.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think of. What is it?
Fast cuts is usually what you do when you don't have the right shots.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying
to. Like Olivier Magaton's work on Taken 2 and 3.
Wait.
By the way, he hasn't said anything about Michael Bay's style of how two people are in a shot or how they talk to each other. Or whatever. I like that he said, yeah, Michael Bay's got a comedy style. So here they do this, they fall over a bunch of wheelchair people. Like, okay, fine. But like, what is he taught us about Michael Bay? He likes explosions. He likes to use long lenses. He likes to have comedy sequences. Patrick didn't need to tell you that. That's something that you can see in all of those movies yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need a fucking YouTube video that has part 1 and part 2 to tell you what you immediately see.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Anybody who's watching these movies knows all this stuff.
Just talk about elements of his filmmaking style and show us examples, and then you can compare those elements to other examples of how they're used.
No, he's doing that, but he's not actually explaining like what the principle behind an action shot is. What's the principle behind putting the camera here? What is it that long lenses do?
Yeah.
What is it? Yeah. What is it that is the impetus? Why, what is it in Michael Bay's character that makes him want to associate with these scripts? Why is it that he wants to work on these projects? Like, we don't know anything. I don't know anything about Michael Bay. We've already gone in 17 minutes of the thing. All I know is that the only thing that I got taught was these couple things, and he used to work at propaganda films with Fincher. Okay, and he copied him sometimes.
Yeah,
but like, how is this better than the letters from the screenplay video that actually tells you these things and shows you?
All I'm learning is how long these movies were and how many screenwriters they had. That's it. That's the only information I'm really getting. So,
all right, we can go for a few more minutes. This is getting kind of tedious.
It's getting stupid tedious.
Yeah.
And why he's listing these movies as this? Why they're 2 hour? Like, what is he doing?
It's 2 hours and 31 minutes. Cool, excellent.
Yeah, like what? Who cares? Why is he telling
us? 5 screenwriters.
Yeah, why? Like, what does that have to do with it?
There's so much why. There's just a lot of why.
He never points out like what's about the screenwriters. So.
Yeah.
Opens with narration
from
Charlton Heston, then the Earth being hit by a massive asteroid, then the title literally exploding. In the first 2 minutes, there are more explosions than in Bay's previous 2 films combined.
Okay.
Until Transformers, Armageddon was probably the film for which Bay was best known. It was the biggest movie of 1998, critics hated it, and it's what turned Bay from an up-and-coming action director to one of the biggest names in blockbuster filmmaking. It's basically another disaster movie, but with the Bay approach, meaning he wipes out New York and Paris as if on a personal quest to one-up Independence Day. Every bit of destruction is pure pornography. The government suits and NASA nerds are weak and ineffectual, and only real...
He just described every single action scene as pure pornography.
That's
Maybe.
why he had that angle before. You know, reference. It's all coming together, man. It's the team of no.
Oh my god, my head hurts.
You want to make it to 20 minutes, guys? You good, or you want to stop? I'm like,
do whatever you want to do, Smud.
Yeah,
It's fine.
maybe a few more minutes at most.
I honestly have maybe a few more minutes of this left in me.
If you have a language that you are describing a movie as pornography, not with as an adjective or
that's funny.
It's like, I don't think of action flicks like Michael Bay as pornography.
No.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
That's just a very odd sentence, and I don't think I would use that in my
It's an
videos.
actual term to describe a certain style or genre of film. So I don't like using a film term to describe another film with it when he's trying to say it's very action oriented.
But don't you know, like drilling for oil is like pornography.
Is like pornography.
His new movie Armageddon had more explosions than any of his previous works combined. Okay. And how is that important? How is that relevant? What is that?
He could have had 2 explosions in total in his previous movies, and this one could have had 3.
Remember how he brought up the topic of he doesn't like the government and he wants to admire the military, whatever term he endeared the military. You're like, okay.
Yes, oil drillers.
I mean, that has nothing to do
with the military.
Yeah, there's nothing to do with him personally. Maybe if it does, who cares? Not the script. He doesn't write the script. If it had 5 script writers, he didn't write it.
Yeah.
Unless he fired them all and said, "Don't write this," then fired that guy. Then don't write this. He kept going until someone said yes.
Yeah.
Unless
we'll hate the military. No, we'll hate the government.
Unless that's the point he's trying to make at the end. I don't know, but you just don't tell us that while the story is being told in his video. Just say at the end, there was 5 directors on this or 5 screenwriters on this, and that's why they kept getting fired because Michael Bay was in charge. Like, oh, he's that kind of screenwriter, or director. Okay, great.
Didn't this also come out with Deep Impact as well in '98?
That was
2 meteor movies or something.
There was a
at the
bunch,
exact same time.
yeah.
It was like what was it, Dante's Peak and Volcano.
Oh god, that was
2 similar movies. Yeah. After 19.
Save the day.
See, he's a salt of the earth guy, and the NASA nerdonauts don't understand his salt of the earth ways, his rough and tumble ways.
The first half of Armageddon actually kind of rules, and that's because it's pretty much one long commercial. It's non-stop montages where every shot, every moment is awesome. There are destruction montages and getting the team together montages and training montages. Every character is larger than life. All of the scenes of people around the world watching the news look like Nike commercials. I think
they look like Nike commercials. Why?
Since then, it's all dark and murky and claustrophobic. Day is best when you in big exterior locations where the sun is perpetually setting. So here his issues with spatial.
The sun is perpetually setting.
This guy loves to throw shade. He can't be objective. He has to be like, look at this fucking asshole and what he does. But it sounds like he's trying to be informative. It's so duplicitous.
Yeah,
dude. He just rambles and doesn't say anything.
Patrick, why about Armageddon? It's a space movie for children. Why are you bothering?
It doesn't work indoors, except that it worked indoors. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't.
Perpetual setting sun. Like, every shot has to be sunset. What do you mean? That's the golden hour? What, you don't do that, Patrick? What are you, a fucking moron? You're not gonna use sunset? You fucking idiot?
Yeah.
You hypocrite?
What's bad about the indoor shots? What is bad about it? Tell me the elements of the indoor shots that are bad and explain why they are bad. You can't just drop that and then walk away.
It's bad because he prefers doing outdoor shots. Okay.
He just drops shit and then walks away from it.
Yeah.
And then goes back to his 1-bedroom apartment and just wanks himself.
All right.
His 1-bedroom basement apartment.
Become debilitating problems.
Okay.
Oh wow, we're already done. All right.
3 hours, 3 minutes, one screenwriter.
Good.
Harbor
I'm really
might
glad.
be the most important film of Michael Bay's career.
Might be the most.
Why?
Transformers. No. Okay. Already. No Transformers because now he's a household name.
Part 2.
No. Why would any of them be the most important?
No
yeah, the other part of that is I need to know why, but he's not going to explain it, and I want to die.
No one likes Pearl Harbor. We've never met anyone who likes Pearl Harbor.
I've never seen it, so
it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Historically, like very accurate movie, by the way.
There's like a love triangle or something with like 2 different pilots.
Yeah, it means nothing at all. It's just silly and stupid.
All right.
He really was. There was a steady growth with each of his movies. He started with
Towards
a lower
what?
budget R-rated action movie, moved up to a big budget R-rated action movie, then
So money growth?
a huge summer blockbuster. And now Bay, along with Bruckheimer,
Wait a minute. Bad Boys wasn't a blockbuster?
Low budget.
Really? Low budget?
was to
Let
win
me
some
check about
awards.
that.
They were gonna make a
believe
serious,
that.
prestigious historical epic, a mix of action and romance. They were going to make the next Titanic. Now, obviously, they didn't directly say they were trying to make the next Titanic, but it's pretty obvious. A few years earlier, James Cameron's historical disaster romance had become the biggest film of all time, and Pearl Harbor did its best to copy the formula. They had
Hey.
No, what? There wasn't a love...
No.
What are you... What the fuck are you on about? Pearl Harbor and Titanic are completely different movies.
Like box office wise, like was that?
Because they're both tragedies or something?
Yeah, but it's like, but it's not. I don't. But they're not. Well, they are. There is the tragedy of Pearl Harbor, but it's a war.
Tragedy of
It's a
Darth
war
Plagueis.
movie.
The Wise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So-
exactly. But
So the film cost 140 million to make and grossed 450, and Bay pocketed 40 million. So financially, that would be a big
of
deal.
course he did.
Who cares?
Not in that time period. Where you try to compare it to Titanic.
So 30, a modern
or,
day
or
32.
even the Lord of the Rings, which came out the same year.
2001, yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
had a love story between attractive young people play out against the backdrop of a historical tragedy. It had a mix of epic action, big special effects, and romance. And a director who, if not James Cameron, was clearly influenced by him and came
So he's a rip-off artist, is what you're saying.
from a similar background of action movies.
What the fuck? What the fuck, dude?
It seemed like Bay was ready to grow, to prove to his critics that he was more than a glossy, sweaty, explosion-filled surface.
He failed miserably. He failed.
No. He's trying to make it. He's throwing shade on him while at the same time being like, yeah, this is a documentary about him.
Wait a minute. Like
my head is just perpetually buried in my hands right now.
Didn't like Patrick like say this line again? Like this is like the time that he can prove that he's not like this. But like he said that for the previous movie.
This is the exact same shot that Spielberg uses in reverse.
He was a serious maker, capable of nuance and genuine emotion.
Yes.
But
so before it
Genuine
wasn't
emotion.
genuine. It wasn't
Genuine
genuine.
emotion.
It was fake emotions.
But that's
It
not
was
what
only
happened.
orange. And
But that's not what happened. And I'm a smug shark.
In 2011, GQ published The Oral History of Michael Bay, and there's a part in the section about Pearl Harbor that I've never forgotten. Bay's first assistant director, Casey Hodenfield, says, quote, Michael was saying he was going to go about the movie differently. He was going to hold shots longer. He wasn't going to move the camera as much. This was going to be like a classic movie. The first day we started shooting, he wasn't using his fast-moving, fast cuts, low shots, his bag of tricks, and it was like watching an Italian speak without his hands. By lunchtime, we're making a Michael Bay movie in the Michael Bay style.
Okay.
And then Michael Bay says, quote, I don't change my style for anybody. Pussies do that.
Okay.
Bay took on
So what?
Okay.
What's your fucking point, Yellow?
Okay.
What is your fucking point?
Quote. Cool quote.
So
yeah, wonderful.
what?
a project for a director who could tell a classic Hollywood love story, who could devote
What is that? What do you mean? Why can't he do that?
Hours of a film to characters and relationships.
Is it because he hired fucking Ben Affleck and had shitty writers? What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
Like Bay's filming is not the reason why that film did poorly. It's just not.
Yeah.
He was on point as usual with his stupid fucking aesthetic that people like. So what's the problem here? I don't understand.
What was the actress? Was it Kate Beckinsale? Was it who was in that one? I remember her being incredibly wooden.
You what?
Bait Beckinsale.
Who could be and nuanced. And Michael Bay realized during the production that this wasn't him. Through Pearl Harbor, there's the sense that he's desperately trying to find ways to make the love story interesting.
Oh, really? It's just not interesting because of what? The writing? Because the writing's not interesting? Because the writing?
In the first hour, he constantly injects his brand of broad, cartoonish humor into it.
Oh, is it he that wrote the jokes? Did he put those in there? Did you check the script to see if he's the one that put the comedy in there, or was that part of the comedy?
Yeah.
This is my face watching this fucking video.
People down have corks shoot into their faces and get forceful injections in their butts.
Oh, is that because he wanted to put it in there, or was that in the script?
Yeah. And as it's on, the dramatic portions feel less like a movie and more like a tourism video for Hawaii, as Bay turns it into a montage.
Wait a minute, so it not being awesome, it being awesome and having Kate Beckinsale making out with Josh Hartnett, these two sexy people, sexy place and sexy outfits at a time before they're gonna die, that's not good? Why is that not good? Isn't that what cinema is about, you fucking idiot?
Glib, it's quite clear. It should have been Josh Hartnett and Ben Affleck making out.
Why does he try to make a classic romance film feel like a classic romance film by using modern techniques that we see in commercials?
Yeah.
The things that are used to glorify things. Why is he glorifying things? What the fuck is wrong with him? Is he a filmmaker or something?
Of gorgeous composed images.
How do I get my Nike commercial from this?
I don't know, but this is hot as fuck.
A commercial.
Yeah.
A commercial for what? A commercial for titties and ass? I like that commercial. I want to go there.
Actual warfare begins, you can almost hear Bay breathing a sigh of relief as he stands up and gets to doing what he really signed up for.
Which is the same thing he does in every shot, like a telephoto lens tracking things and moving and doing tilts and pans. Like what? That's what he does every single shot.
There's no biplanes.
You know what happened here is Patrick Willems watched the Letters from the Screenplay video and then he just copied it and made it worse.
Yeah.
This is all the same stuff that's in Letters from the Screenplay.
Yep.
And I want to I'll play it, but I'm gonna go and confirm and see if that's actually like which one came first.
Pearl Harbor attack in the film is an astonishing piece of action filmmaking. The scale is huge, the visuals are incredible.
It's amazing.
For Bay, it is surprisingly coherent,
so good.
Following multiple threads through the sequence. Staging something like this is profoundly complicated and difficult, but Bay makes it look easy.
Oh, it's every frame of painting. Awesome. Sorry. It's the original EFAP that did this video.
And a total blast to watch. Which is kind of the problem. This section of the movie is portraying a real-life tragedy. It's a surprise attack that
totally. Americans. Okay, so Patrick made this video in 2018 in October, and the Every Frame of Painting video came out 6 years ago in 2014, and he even uses some of the same shots to put his points. So you're just like Michael Bay. You're just fucking rip-off artists of better filmmakers.
Yeah. Be a sobering, upsetting scene, but it plays as a fun, kick-ass action movie.
Why does it play as a fun, kick-ass action movie? Because things blowing up is cool to watch?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, dude?
Just from the scenes that he's shown me, this looks fucking horrifying.
Why are you watching these things blow up like this? Like, what do you think that was actually like? What do you think the experience was actually like?
It needs to be in grainy black and white film.
What there needs to be
sad piano music.
Sad heart. Like, Medal of Honor.
Yeah, it needs to have sad piano music, grainy black and white film, and Sarah McLachlan singing "Arms of an Angel."
No, that's terrible.
You're terrible. You don't
real
understand
people who
art.
died, and Bay is having the time of his life blowing them up.
How is that? How?
But people got blown up. To show people getting blown up in the past, we can't show them getting blown up Now,
how are you supposed to do it?
How would you show?
Shut the fuck up!
How can you show a war scene without explosions and gunfire? What is everyone supposed to like go up to each other and just slightly whisper, and slap each other or something? What the fuck?
That this movie is to be Titanic, but it forgets that Titanic is a tragedy. This movie feels like the pitch.
Oh yeah, Pearl Harbor wasn't a tragedy, by the way, everybody. Pearl Harbor was a fun family comedy.
Pitch was, what if Titanic, but we win at the end?
What?
But you did.
What do you mean? What if Titanic, but we won at the end? How about let's do Pearl Harbor because that was a disaster and it has guns and action. It's like Titanic, but with guns and action.
Win at the end.
Yeah, we didn't win. What do you mean won? The war started. You fucking idiot.
So as this whole extra half hour or so portraying the Doolittle raid just so it can feel like America gets to win.
Yeah. Okay. And then America won World War II, you fucking idiot.
They also did this with like the
It's so strange that you wanted to give a positive outcome of a story that had a positive outcome for the United States. Why aren't you an anti-American like me, Patrick Willems?
Of Pearl Harbor is that Michael Bay was not the right guy to make this movie. And I
Based
think
on
he
what
would be
you
the
said.
first to admit that.
Why?
This was a film that called for a director who could tell a story about people. But that's the
but he doesn't tell stories about people.
You can't tell a story about people, guys.
I'm tapping out.
You just can't do it.
Smud?
Sorry?
What were you saying? You got interrupted.
No, I'm just finding it hilarious that Michael Bay is a director that can't tell stories about people. That's one of the dumbest things I've heard from Patrick so far.
Another thing that's really stupid is that he's the wrong guy for this movie, which made $450 million. So what are you talking about? This movie was more successful than his previous movies.
Every story you see in cinema involves people. It has to involve the plots or the plights of the individuals. They're trying to achieve something or go against something. There's some conflict, whatever. And if he's saying Michael Bay cannot tell a story about people, what has Michael Bay been doing for the past his entire career? He's telling stories about cars. Like, what is he doing?
Yeah, that's literally what Patrick is saying. He's telling he doesn't tell stories. He just gives you visual pornography, just explosions and stuff, right? That's his whole the point he's been building up to.
He gives you Nike commercials with explosion.
It's just a commercial. It's not even like real genuine emotion. And what's so funny about that is like The Rock, $75 million, box office $335 million. Then Armageddon, $140 million, then box office $553. Pearl Harbor made less money. It made $449. And then Bad Boys 2 made less money. And then The Island made way less money. So his career went back down. And it wasn't until Transformers when people went, hey, let's get a guy to beat up fucking, robots versus robots. And that's when people liked it. That's when he started making this big money again. So while it is accurate to say that he's a big action movie director, the idea that he doesn't make films about people is really stupid. Because he always has to have a human character in one of those movies. It's just that the problem is that what he's into is just not what Patrick is into, and that's the problem. My favorite Patrick Willems movie. Oh, he didn't make one. My favorite Michael Bay movie is 13 Hours, and it made almost no money at all.
Here's Jake the Surgeon. Thank you.
Small level.
Thank you, Jake. The best women are the ones with both great looks and the strength to suplex you into oblivion. Huh.
No, you're wrong. You are totally wrong.
That is, everyone has their own taste there, Jake, I'm sure. So I'm glad you shared your standards.
Though, then again, you're talking about taste with Jake, and he has asked whether you can eat your own poo and drink your own
This
piss,
is true.
So.
You must keep this in mind when addressing Jake's tastes.
Tastes.
Why would you say tastes?
He's referring to women, so fecal matter.
Why did you have to say taste?
You gotta compare the two, I guess. I don't know.
You did not have to say taste, though.
That's the problem. Michael Bay doesn't care about people.
Michael
What?
Bay does.
Cool.
Okay, we're done.
Maybe that's
We're
not
done.
fair. He might actually,
We're
he might
finished.
actually be correct though. He may not actually care about people, but that doesn't mean he doesn't make films about people.
Yeah, I think
he probably
we're done.
doesn't. But okay, cool.
No.
That's enough. No,
Hey,
it's
we did
done
it.
anyway.
No.
It's done anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can avoid the tardations. Also, brought to you by Skillshare.
Yeah, here we go.
Do you want to learn how to shave
If
your
there's one
balls?
lesson we can learn from Michael
Skillshare
Bay,
can
it's
teach
that
you how
every
to
movie needs
get on your
at least
knees,
one
shave your
shot
balls,
of
stick your head up your
helicopters at
ass.
sunset. But if there's a second lesson,
Do you want
it's
to
that
learn
you've
how
gotta
to
be careful
overthrow a
when it
small
comes to your
Bosnian
personal
government?
security. Maybe there's a group of bodybuilders.
Oh, this is
trying to
another
rob you
one.
or
What is this
shadowy
one?
Than wasting time resetting.
Dashlane.
What's this?
Password manager.
Plus prevention.
So he's just stealing password manager stuff. All right, we did it, folks. Thank you for coming on to another Smudcast. Fuck you all. You're terrible people. I hope you have a great day.
Fuck you, Glib. You're bad man.
Yes, we already knew that.
All right, love you.
All right.
Well, yeah.
Jake the Surgeon.
And
again. What are you doing?
shout out to Smudbert and Joe Bag of Donuts and Alex Halo and Inquisitor Matthias. You guys are the best. And we're done with this fucker.
I asked the
coming
throbbing,
in.
hard questions that need to be asked. I don't know, Jake.
Throbing. No, throbing.
No, you're right.
Amen.
1B. Throbing hard. Oh, jeez. These wonderful spelling
Message coming in.
mistakes.
Ron Harushin. Rone Harushin? Is that how you pronounce that?
Roroni
Yeah.
Kenshin? I love that
Best super chat I'm gonna say. This is the gold super chat. So in total, Patrick hates Michael Bay and Bayman bad. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Patrick has to be like, yeah, he does a couple things good, but he doesn't even care about people. He doesn't make real, genuine emotion. He just explodes shit in the background. So he titles it like, oh yeah, a true American auteur, but then he just throws shade at him the whole time.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like. I know
Also
Glib
shout out to Mark Alcatraz and OR Master DX.
I know Glib has stories about working or not working with Michael Bay, but what it was like on set, and you can dislike him for that. But to say he doesn't like people, I don't think anyone in any job, I don't care how popular you are, can get very far if you don't rely on people or respect them to some degree. Even if it's your superior, like you would have to respect someone above you, else you wouldn't be there. So to say that is just strange. I would hate to think that there's people out there that, they obviously are some people are very egocentric that don't personally care about others, but they have to put on the facade to do so to get their money, to do their job. Sure, they're out there. But they will never publicly do this. I hate you. I hate people. People are in my way. I'm some smug bastard that knows everything. You're all a bunch of...
Michael Bay is definitely like that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure
true.
he is. He's a crazy, I'm this genius dude. Get out of my way. But he's never going to actively, like in an interview, saying, I hate people, and they're all speed bumps to my ego. And it's like, no, dude, they're doing the best they can.
Yeah, 100%. Sounds good, man. Very good. Thank you for having me on.
All right, folks.
That video was just fucking...
Fuck Patrick Willems.
Okay, well, thank you guys for tuning in. We're not going to do part 2. I think that was enough for me.
Hell no.
And we're going to have something special on Friday, but that's what we talked about before. Any more Steven Seagal suggestions? Keep them coming. I'd love to have them. So
the best way to cover Steven Seagal is to do it in chronological order, because he starts out at his best and it's a constant dip. It just keeps going down from Hard to Kill.
There's this like when it reaches Under Siege, it's like goodbye.
Yeah, Under Siege is like the beginning and the end.
I've never seen a single Steven Seagal movie.
They are all bad, and I will fight Razor Fist on that point. I cannot stand any of them.
Unironically?
Yeah, he does like them, but he also doesn't care about action movies making a lot of sense. I think he likes, and it's very early on in his critique career.
What was that crazy guy?
Casey fucking Ryback!
Yeah.
Just
he likes a lot of those 80s flicks like Cobra and all these other Stallone stuff.
Well,
so.
Have you seen what he looks like? Of course he likes all those 80 flicks.
Yeah.
What's really funny to me is I actually know a special forces operator that's like an older guy now, and he actually is a cook. Like he's the real deal, and it's so funny because Seagal is nothing like this dude. He doesn't have any of the character traits. The only thing he can do is he tries to do, hey man, I'm this silent, I walk in the room, I could kill anybody in this room, you know what I mean? But it's so bullshit. Like, you can just smell the bullshit coming off of his hairpiece. Like, the real deal people, man, you would never hire Steven Seagal to be a fucking Navy SEAL. You gotta suck my balls first before that happens.
Probably a SEAL that got caught by the Navy. That's about it.
In a net.
The Navy doesn't catch seals.
I want Van Damme and Seagal to fight out 1-on-1.
Van Damme is too good for him, but he also, if you look at the Frank Dux thing,
that was the reason why he didn't go to Expandables, actually, because Van Damme was.
Yeah, like I get that, but Seagal doesn't belong in the Expendables because he's a fucking loser, and I hate his guts. So don't put him in there with the cool guy.
Very
Stallone.
Strong opinion.
Stallone is the man. Seagal. Yeah, no, Stallone is cool. I mean, they're all fucking flamboyant fucks, all of them. Schwarzenegger, anybody that was a bodybuilder, anybody that shows off their shirt and waxes their chest to be in a film is a fucking prima donna. But there are some good ones, and you know what I mean? The Schwarzenegger gang, the Stallone gang, those were the people I'd rather be with. The actual people, you know what I mean? Not fucking the pretenders, like Seagal. And Van Damme, even though he does the karate shit, he's a goofball. The people that he was around were a bunch of hacks. You know what I mean? Like Frank Dux, like I was saying with the Bloodsport. That was a bunch of lies. Yeah, he never trained the CIA. That's all bullshit. That's all bullshit. So it's frustrating that you have to the reason why Seagal has a career is because there are real dudes that were doing cool shit. There was good action, and then there's also action stars that can't really do a lot of action but can shoot. And that's really interesting, like the Clint Eastwoods or the Death Wish movies. Like, that's interesting. Charles Bronson. But Casey fucking Ryback's gonna come in and do some Aikido and clothesline a guy into a table and where's Johnny? I'm doing an Italian accent. Where's Tony? Hey, fuck you, dude. It's terrible.
Hey, Glib.
And then he's all groping up on the girls and stuff all the time. Hey man, I need a pretty girl that I can put my hand on her ass and then. Man, the younger the better, man. Fuck you, fat piece of crap.
Hey, Glib.
What's up?
You're spicy today.
Well, I hate Steven Seagal.
Oh, that's fair. You doing okay?
Everyone's allowed. Everyone's allowed wrong opinions once in a while. Oh. It's okay.
Ex-SEAL team, Navy SEAL, man. UDT, Bud's class 700 billion, man. Shit, man. I'm black and Italian at the same time. Fucking Steven Seagal.
At the same time.
And Russian, yeah.
It's usually impossible, but Steven does it.
Why is that funny to me?
Well, I gotta get some whiskey in me before I hurt myself. All right. Thank you guys for sharing the pain. Thanks, guys, for the suggestion. I don't know if we're going to do another Patrick Willems in a while, because why would we? It's just
I just get a headache.
It's just not fun.
Like, this is my first one, and I never want to see another one.
He has his moments. If he was just sharing information, that'd be great, but he always has little anecdotes that just don't help, and it just screws up his
Also, can I just say, this is now the third time in the last, I think, month and a bit that Smud has said, no, this video's okay, and by the end of it, we've literally, like, our brains have melted.
Okay,
he lied on purpose.
You realize, Hawk, we've been doing this for a while, and our standards are so low that anything better than Maggie
Smud,
May.
By the way, Smud, that's something I wanted to mention to you. I think you should raise your standards. I think it's time for you to stop taking every... you don't have to do this. I mean, maybe you should do it every day. I don't know what your thing is, but I think that you should raise your standard for video so that it can be at least worth your time.
I know that.
Some videos that you've been looking at, I don't know.
Like today, I just added a bunch of new videos to the lists, but I'm going through about 24 right now, and I can only go through so much. And I watch the first few minutes. I go, this is all right. This is good. And I go to the next one. This is too long, or this is dumb, or I can't hear the guy. Like, there's all reasons why I do not take a video in. I don't watch the whole thing. I don't have time to do that. So, like the first few minutes, I thought, okay, this is okay. This is seemingly fine. He's showing examples. He's trying to describe early Michael Bay. Okay. but he doesn't really have a point. He's just saying this is this is that. You're like, that seems pretty fine. You can do that. But it amounted to the entire video. He just kept doing that. And why he had anecdotes of other directors, I don't know. That didn't help.
I also think we should do some videos. Like, it might be interesting if you have short videos. You do a bad one, you do a good one. You talk about why it's good. Like, there's a lot of interesting YouTube videos I would want to watch with you and comment on. That would be productive and informative and creative, as opposed to another video of some crazy bitch with a feminist degree or whatever.
I would love to have just you, and then one for Shiny, like one day just for you, and then one for Shiny, and then one for whomever, and we'll just talk about that topic because you guys have so much to share. And Glib, I know you mostly come on because it deals with Hollywood and movies, because that's your thing. I can't.
Well, with you though, I like picking your brain for writing because I read your book. So I wanna engage with you on a level that you're interested in, and that I understand that the natural conversation level will be uplifted because we'll be able to engage in expertise that we both have, and I think that that's intellectually stimulating to me. Whereas at some of these videos, it's like the title alone can be refuted, and that bothers me. You know what I mean? But
so you're saying I'm not intellectually stimulating being on here?
Not today.
All right.
Maybe in the future.
No, that's fair. My brain has been mush for most of this.
Into totally thinking Jiggy Bobby, so I'm fine.
Yeah, you got it.
But it's also fair because the video was just so destructive to your brain that I don't blame you for wanting to just like be like balls.
No, we've gone through so many YouTubers we could pick apart within the first 20 seconds what the rest of the video is going to be like based off their language and how they approach an idea.
But
even how they sound.
Star Wars, The Last Jedi is a masterpiece.
And I've seen this they all jumped into the Last Jedi fucking boat and defended that to the hilt. Everything they said was a lie and a hack, but now they've realised that, and they realise every single thing that they used to say can't be used anymore.
I actually don't
lie through their teeth.
I don't think they think they're wrong. I actually believe that they think.
Oh no, I don't. I think they think that they're right, but what they're now noticing is, oh, hang on, I'm contradicting myself. Oh shit, I've got to try and stick to what I said with The Last Jedi. And
No.
That's a problem.
Patrick has no idea what he said a year ago, and I made a video about that where he pretty much bashes episode 9 when he was uplifting episode 8 to high hell.
Oh.
And it was crazy.
But that's the Star. That was the Star Wars thing of everyone who liked TLG hated Tross. So that's the thing. But with other movies and other stuff, they've dug the hole with TLJ and they can't get out now. They just keep digging and digging, and the videos are getting worse and worse and worse.
I don't know.
It's just becoming just mind-numbingly crap. There's no argument.
This video was a weird take because you thought he was gonna talk about Bay as this great director, and he sort of started that way, and then he just kept knocking him down a peg, and then knocking him down a peg, and it's just like a hidden punch, just at 20 minutes of just no, he's great. All of a sudden, no, he sucks. He hates people. You're like, what? What are you talking?
Yeah, it's like how many times does Glib keep going? Oh, this is like an underhanded comment. Oh, this is a backhanded comment. I was like going like, yeah, actually, I thought he was like trying to say Bay was half decent, but from the sound,
I think of two different types of people. There's the impartial people that inherently have an opinion, and so they want to also express their opinion. And I get that from people like Ian from Forgotten Weapons, because he shows up and he says, his bias is, I'm a Francophile. I like the French designs. But it's not because of the objectivity of it. So when he's describing something, he's just trying to be objective about it and deliver that content, because I think that this type of artist, this type of creator, this is the kind that I respect. They want to create something that's separate from themselves, is just as valuable to somebody as somebody that likes them as a person. So if I make content, I don't necessarily want you to watch it because you're a fan of Glib. I enjoy that and appreciate that. And that's actually why I'd want to hang out with you. That's why I'd want to be friendly with you, because we get along. You know what I mean? We have similar personalities or whatever. But the content, I want to be available to as many people as possible. That's one type of thing. Then there's people who, they make content, I think, because of their motivation is they want to change the cultural conversation, because they think that the opinion at large is incorrect, and they want to adjust that. And I have a sensibility of that to a certain degree. I wish people were more informed so they can make more informed decisions. But I think there are people like Patrick where he will present a title as the way to bait you. And then he'll present the thing as he's trying to be impartial. But really, he just wants to tell you his opinion. So it's like a couple layers of deception to get to actually what he's saying. He's like, I don't even need Patrick, honestly, to tell me what he thinks is good. At this point, I just want to hear what he's honestly feeling. Because he feels like he's using film and the creative, the lighting or the whatever, because he's using that as a way to mask what he truly thinks. And what I think he really truly feels inside is this completely snobbish way of looking at film. How, we're all just stupid. All of us should be watching fucking Truffaut movies all the time. We should be way more educated and enlightened. But at the same time, there's the gut instinct where he actually kind of likes this stuff. He likes the pulpy stuff. And that's where we all are. We all should be more enlightened beings, constantly reading the classics and stuff. And we put ourselves through these things to do that, to have that thing. But at the same time, how many times do you want to just go, I just want to watch an episode of Star Trek. I just want to watch some Farscape. I just want to fucking play a video game. I just want to enjoy some entertainment. And then trying to make that entertainment better requires the objectivity thing. And what I think is that there's an inherent lacking that goes into some of these creators where they can't manifest it, which is something I was saying in the beginning. You have someone like Lindsay Ellis. You have someone like the Nostalgia Critic. You have someone like Patrick and all these people who they don't have the talent, I think, to actually present and make the movie. I know they don't have the resources, but they don't need to present something that's worthwhile. If you can make something for no budget, then you're probably a really good filmmaker. Jim Jarmusch, I think, made Coffee and Cigarettes, or Cigarettes and Coffee. He had famous people that would show up as favors, but the film is just people sitting at a table and having conversations with two shots. Like, the most basic forms of filmmaking can deliver a high-end product. There's a Lars von Trier movie where the sets are like on a stage and it doesn't look real, and only the important props are there. All of the set dressing and all of the material is as minimalistic as possible, kind of like a Dog Me 95 thing, whatever their project was, to make films that had as no effects and nothing except for the human experience. You can do so much with little. And that's the thing that's annoying when it comes to people that are critique filmmakers, who are butthurt that they don't have access to the resources of Hollywood, that they don't have any clout, that they put all this effort into it and they don't have anything to show except for the fact that they can make YouTube videos. And they aren't talented enough or creative enough, like the people that they want their ego to be like, to make something with nothing. And that's why I'm fucking pointing that out, because it's like, that's the person that we all should strive not to be. You make a choice, personality-wise, if you're Patrick, to be like that. That's not who he is, quote unquote. He's putting on this character that, and I understand it, because I do, I'm a little bit like that. I don't know as much as I think I know, but this idea that, like, all right, I'm going to go and use all my skills to present my argument as well as possible, like a ContraPoints or whatever. But in actuality, you're not putting the work and effort in to earn the credibility of a Jordan Peterson or of a fucking Martin Scorsese. But you're going to talk like you know all these things. You have to actually go out and prove it. And until then, you should feel insecure about how much you know about something, because you're not proving it. And I know that applies to some people that are like, oh, I just want to be a critic and stuff. I'm like, I understand that. But I think it's also to your credit if you can make something out of it. If you can start to generate product, that'll be the proof that you know what you're talking about. And with Patrick, it's so obvious all the time with all of his films that, yes, he is slowly getting better and paying more attention, but he was more egotistical than he was knowledgeable at the time that he started, and his films and all of his entertainment programs that he puts out and quote-unquote educational programs reflect ego and style over sincerity and actual knowledge. And that's why I shit on him so easily. I don't care how he looks, if he's balding, if he's got fucking glasses on, or if he likes Wes Anderson. He could make something out of himself. He could do something good with it, but he doesn't, and he shits on people in a really poor way, and that's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with that, yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in for so long. I was expecting to go this long. I thought we would have cut a little earlier just because it's Patrick and, he's his own person. And I can only take so much. I've seen a few of his videos already. They're not my favorite. So, but thank you anyway. Always great to listen to all kinds of chats from you guys. All the comments from Zach and Hawk, always fun. Just a fun time to have with everyone around us. So, anyway, we'll talk to you real soon. I'll be announcing some other stuff happening on the Smudcast later, probably tomorrow or the day after I figure it out. But, yeah, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.
I'm going to go drink.
Me too. All right.
Remember to drink water.
Good idea.
I'm gonna go make some
It's a
more
very
coffee.
good idea.
I got this David Lynch coffee. It's very floral.
David Lynch?
Yeah, he makes